Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to Legacy Division. We are here tonight for season number 3. It is round number 8 of the championship as we take in the Mexican Grand Prix from, of course, the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. And put it this way, it's going to be very interesting in qualifying. My name is James Head, going to be taking you to the stream as always on this fine Tuesday evening. Bit cold, I think, as well. But joining me in the commentary box, probably even colder than I am, is Mr. Ross Greenhorn. Ross, how you doing?
Very good. Welcome along, everyone. Back to the race in the WR Legacy Division. Well, last time out was chaotic, you could say. James, I wasn't there, sadly, but I did see in the end. It was a interest in the Belgian Grand Prix F7R, picking up that window with Yossi in the end. A fantastic drive. 5 seconds clear across the line was the F7R driver with NLR Marlin and GL Enzo picking up some late podiums with some penalties being applied to the Bunga Racing Team drivers. They'll be gutted to miss out on that podium place, but I'm sure we'll see them again fighting today.
Yeah, definitely. So 4th and 5th there in the end, of course, for Furious and for Joel Murphy. Of course, Yossi taking the 5-second win in the end. It was a commanding victory. And a commanding victory as well for F7R. They're back in the championship hunt. Yossi, of course, very strong around Belgium. Not here tonight, actually, for F7R. It's Uppbeat and Kian going to be taking you through for F7R. But Marlon and Enzo, 2nd and 3rd, they really drove fantastically well. Marlon especially, because he had a bit of contact as well on that one. We had that safety car, of course, that really brought the change up in the results and also a change up in the standings. Let's have a look then at the standings in question. Outplay Racing leading the way on 227 points, 35 clear of F7R in 2nd on 192. Novus Racing in 3rd on 169. Bunga Racing Team 4th on 151. Parnell Racing in 5th on 142. Then G League in 6th on 126. NLR in 7th on 115. Team Shazoo in 8th on 113. The to be announced team in 9th on 92. Yes, we're going to be calling them that here tonight. EC8 in 10th on 77, 11th position for Future Racing Team and 11th on 61, and Nexus Racing in 12th on 35 points. We can actually afford the graphic now to be put for 11th and 12th, which is very good to see. Let's have a quick look at how everyone is going to be faring in terms of the lineup as well. And Ross, some very interesting names in there. Urpek making his debut for F7R, Keen alongside him, of course. We've got the likes of Arch and Bolorin for Shazoo, but the teams to beat, obviously, OP, Marcadors and Louis, NLR potentially with Keke and Tales, and the to-be-announced team, of course, with Sav and Kai.
Yeah, I mean, we know what it's like with having Sav and Kai in that to-be-announced team. Still yet to get a name on themselves, but yeah, they'll definitely be two that'll be looking for another race win today. Marcadors and Louis, though, two that I like to see as well. Marcadors especially, a strong driver. Almost clinched himself that PSL F1 title until it was taken away late on, but still, yeah, fantastic driver. In the end, you said Airpike making his debut for F7R, a very big opportunity for him, for his new team. Obviously, he's an NLR driver now over at F7R. Big shoes to fill, though, with Tycho Hardy in the last week, but still, I do back Airpike to have a good race today.
Yeah, definitely Division 2, even PSGL F2 champion, of course, was Urpek, and F7R really picking him up. I did say in the comment section that Q1 was interesting. Brace yourselves. Full wet qualifying here in Mexico for Q1. It is absolutely tipping it down. 2 kilometers above sea level, of course. The rain is going to wet the track completely. The Magician is the first man out on track for BRT. Very, very difficult conditions. I had a lap time around here around the 1:15s. Put it this way, they're going to be 20 seconds slower, potentially, in terms of the lap times around here. A 1:06.6 in the middle sector for Magician. Now coming in towards the Forest Hall section at turns 12 and 13. Of course, the baseball stadium, that place hosts 150,000 spectators, of course, in the summer time. Of course, translates into the autumn racing around here, of course, at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. As Magician now comes to the final corner on the run to line, screwing his way to the line on 1:30.4. Put it this way, Ross, I'm happy I'm in the commentary box alongside you rather than being out there on track.
Yeah, no, very, very tough conditions to be tackling early on, wet tyres. Some of them might have practiced a little bit of the wet, maybe not expecting it as much as some, but still, yeah, wet tyres, the hardest compound to really attack. Tails within the last corner now for NLR. He has a big spin across the line and loses only his front wing, luckily. I tell you what, that was a close one for Tails. He was close to the wall with a right-hand side tyre. He's dodged it, luckily. Only lost his front wing. Yeah, you can see how difficult the conditions are already with Tails on the wall with no front wing.
Yeah, definitely so, and goes that fourth position, 31-1. He was a bit down in this time as well. Keki, I was full on board with there, the other NLR man going into second. Talas, of course, Brazilian, so actually not hopping too far across South America to actually come here tonight and race. Dirk is invalidated, however, as Grimballs now goes quickest for G League. Of course, the French team are very much used to spinning in the rain, and speaking of spinning in the rain, there is Archround coming to the right-hand return of a 12 in toward the Forest Soul, so already drivers being caught out could mean potentially a real turn up for the Bucks in terms of qualifying here tonight. It is Grimballs though out on top, Volakongan there in second, Magician there currently in third, and hopefully it is going to be a very good qualifying session. Let's run on board then with ET8 Havmik. Havmik, I think, one of the Swedes here for ET8, and doing a bit of Tokyo drifting coming through the right-hander there of turn number 12. There's a bit of broken front wing as well. I believe that might have been from Arch when he spun his car. 43 flat from him coming across the line as Havmik now comes through the final corner on the run toward the line. It does the ET8 man. Again, these conditions really, really hard. And 6th position, 30.8. I have a feeling, Ross, we're going to be seeing some big names out in Q1.
Yeah, your usual names could be seen at early exit to qualifying. I love the wet conditions in the rain. It just adds so much more to the qualifying session. Grimbo was top in the session early on though with a 30.2, and Shuzu Volakongan up there in P2 as well with a 30.3. You can see how difficult it is though, especially in that last sector. Not for Louis Valentine though. He jumps well to the top with a 29.424. He is not a man that will be defying the odds on top in the session early on, but still, as I said, the conditions you can see are having a real effect on the drivers. Arch going for a spin there at turn 12. You can also see run the last corner. We've seen it was Grimballs as well having a bit of a hard time. So some of these drivers really struggling for grip in that last sector. Dirk's about to finish off his lap now for ET8. Really struggling out this final corner at turn 17 for some grip on the inside line. He runs out wide there. Dirk across the line. He's up in the P2 with a 30.0. So a lap times are tumbling down nicely. It's looking we could be seeing a 28 possibly.
Yeah, Gabol's looking quite good actually on this lap as well. BRT man looking very good as he comes through the Forest Soul. He's not going to be around Louis Valentine sort of area, put it that way. Very good lap from him. Nearly hits the wall coming out of Peril Tarda there. Gabol now on the run start. Michael second, and he does by a 10th of a second ahead of Dirk there. Dirk as well is in the first sector. Just trying to see if there's anybody else that is on a lap right now. Archer's broken his front wing again on the right side end plate, I think, as the car. So he's going very slow through that middle sector. Havmik is just invalidated coming through that middle sector as well. You've been told, by the way, Ross, to change your profile picture on YouTube, maybe on Google as well, as a result by Harvey there in the chat. The FRT man, I believe that might be. Louis Valentine, though, out on top. Gabor in second. Dirk there in third as Havmik comes to the line, 9th position. But let's run on board with one of the main man, Reese Linton, on the run down and towards turn number 1, of course. PSR Sav to you and me, into fans of WOR. Kai Pearson as well, just starting up on a lap. I believe he's actually furthest on of the Red Bulls. There's a Ferrari though spun coming out of the first sector, and I think that was Marcados that had spun coming out of the chicane at turns 2 and 3.
Yeah, you can see how much he's struggling for grip there through that first sector. A 32.2 split. I'm not sure if that's any much greater. Big slide though through turn number 4 and number 5 now as well. I think he might have backed off for this one because that was a really poor turn 4 for Reese Linton. Now you can see just how hard it is to get some good grip around this track, especially coming up to this sector here, sector 2. 8 of the 17 corners being in this middle sector. Turn it to turn 8 now, and turn number 9 to the left-hander. Fast turn 10 and 11 to attack. This would be a place where grip will be very, very limited. So if you get good grip out here, you could see yourself on an absolute flyer. Slight snap on exit out of turn 11. A small little straight here. Not really one you're going to be seeing overtakes happen down towards into turn 12, but they definitely still can happen. You can see Reese Linton, a usual, pole sitter, having a really hard time through that middle sector, now into the last sector here at turn 15 and turn number 16 with this long right-handed corner. Of turn 17 coming up then. Driver struggling for grip left, right and centre. Keke not struggling though. He jumps up into second place. Kai Pearson 4th place. Reese Linton only 7th. That's 30.2.
Only 7, but conditions are improving as more drivers go for their laps, of course. Louis Valentine, 29.4, still the one to beat. Keke in second, Gabor there in third, Kai Pearson there in fourth. But Reese there down in 8th position, not safe by any stretch of the imagination as Marcados there comes back into the pit lane. F7R, we turn the attentions to through the middle sector on board with Kian. Kian is actually slightly down on what Reese was in the middle sector by about a tenth or two of a second, as Kian now comes in toward the right-hander of turn 15. Of course, his father going to be tuning in the chat as well. Liam Boot there saying in the chat at 28.6 in the West. Might be a bit of a show-off, I think, man is in the comment section. 28.6 would be on pole position right now, put it that way, as Kian goes 11th on his lap at 30.3. It is only the first run, so don't take really anything by what you're seeing out on track with the first runs. Urpek as well, 107.1 in that middle sector. Grimball's there going second as well, but Louis Valentine out on top. Grimble second, Keki in third. Of course, Louis Valentine, Ross, a man that has already won this season in the Legacy Division in Monaco by about 30 seconds he won by as well. Are we going to get the same margin of victory potentially tonight if he's continuing this form?
If he stays in this form, I wouldn't write it off at all. You can see 310s clear. How early on in the session it was. He just completely mastered the wet conditions nicely at 29.4. It's an absolute fly of a lap. 310s clear of anyone behind. But as you said, yeah, that form in Monaco was just exceptional. If he can continue that, it really is a problem for the rest of the grid. Gabor up in second currently as well. Grimbo's not one to be counted out. GL having scored their podium last week, looking to try and see if they can make it 2 in a row for them after that penalty to the BRT guys. With looks like a struggle so far for them. Magician in 10th, but Gabor up in second is a pretty good result for them so far. So I think Gabor should be through. Magician, no, not as safe as Gabor might be.
Yeah, so far so good. No, not so far so good though from Keki on this lap, coming through Peraltada, really spinning the car through in terms of the traction. Might actually go quicker than maybe Valentine here. Goes the line, actually goes 2 tenths slower than him by, what, 29.592 that is. So about a 2-tenth gap between Louis Valentine and Keki there in first and second. Nick there saying in the chat, what a Nicky and Nath cooking further down the field. Of course, FRT have got qualifying bans here tonight in Luca and Typical, so both of them are out in terms of qualifying. Ogween as well, out in terms of qualifying. They're down in 20th position. Of course, he's got a qualifying ban as well. You might have seen it on the graphic that we showed you a little bit earlier on. Marcadors on an out lap coming through. Down in 19th position, not often a place that I like to see Marcadors in. Of course, PSGL F1 winner this season, looking to try and really regain his form. OP really need their drivers at the top. Louis Valentine out on top for now. Marcadors in 19th. Is it putting a bit of unwanted pressure potentially on Outplay Racing here?
Yeah, but obviously only one driver, and the points last week was one that really harmed their chances of still leading the way. But luckily, they are still leading the way currently from F1 Esports in the second place. But F1 catching every single race. Obviously, Yossi winning last week. OP's best finish being Marcadors in 7th place. Still good points, but is it enough to be winning the championship? Probably not. They really need to start upping their game once again, like we've seen at the start of the season with that 3 in a row. But I'm sure with the quality they've got in that team, they can bring it back to what we see. But Marcadors, though, will be hoping to get a good lap in here, because if not, he is in real danger of being eliminated.
Yeah, real danger indeed. Somebody that might not be, though, Stephen's boy coming in towards the Father Soul, is Kian, the F7R man, in towards the stadium section. Coming now through in toward the right-hander of Peraltada at turn 16 and 17. Looking very good, I've got to say, Kian. In terms of that, 5.5 10 the improvement, nearly ended up in the wall like Bottas did, of course, in qualifying. Kian now on the run to the line, 29.7. Not a bad lap there at all from the man who's on that wet compound tyres. But you can see, I've flicked the tyre graphic now to what they're going to be going on. And you can see Gabor, Grimbles, Havmik and Magician all opting, it seems, to go for an intermediate compounder tyre towards the end of the session. Luke's mentioned in the Discord as well, are you allowed to do an Inters Q1 run? You are indeed, and that's why, with the rain now easing up, we're going to see drivers on a set of Inters, certainly, for the second half of the race. As my man from Leicester has joined us there in the chat, Mr. Joseph, good luck tonight, you're going to need it.
Very bold of you, James. Very bold of you. Marcadors carrying on with this lap, though, on his wet compound tyres with his teammate Louis Valentine selecting Inters along with Grimbles out on track and Inters along with Gabor as well. So some of these wet guys that are quite high up, like Erpek, like Dirk, like Keke, will probably need to come out again and possibly go. And Erpek, though, jumping up and is still in second place with a 29.5. So possibly is enough to see himself through, but likes of PSR Arch and OP Marketers especially now, does he have enough time to get back in the pits? Does he have to possibly back off this lap attempt? We'll see though as he comes through this final sector now, hooking up through turn number 15 and 16 and 17. Does he dive into the pit lane to sort himself out? A set of intermediate tyres. It doesn't look like he's going to finish off this lap here. There's a German driver. Can he get himself higher than P19? He crosses the line. It is up into P5, and that might just be enough to save the German.
Yeah, it will do indeed. By the way, I've just realised that Leicester and Sunderland play next week in terms of Tuesday and not this week because it's the international break. I'm stupid. Louis Valentine Adams up, Effect there in second, Dirk there in third with 3 minutes to go here in Q1. Currently as it stands, Nick and Arch, the two being out in Q1. Bit of a ground to make up, certainly from Nick's perspective as well, from the NVR team's perspective. NVR, of course, have had a very, very good season so far in exhibition, possibly outperforming themselves as well, I think, in terms of the actual nature of the championship. They're in 16th position is Nick. What does he need to do, ideally, Ross, to try and get within Q2? Because I think, honestly, towards the end of the session, as Nick's going to continue on a set of wet compound tyres, probably not the best tyre to be on, I've got to be honest. He's continuing on that tyre. Is that now putting him vulnerable, potentially, to being out in Q1?
Well, obviously, we've seen Markadors just moments ago do a 29.6 with how the track is now, so possibly a 29.5 might just be enough for him. But with the likes of Keke and Dirk back out again in their 29.5s, it might not be enough, James. As you said there, it could be an exit, a double Q1 exit for Nick. So you're going with the quali ban, nothing he can do. But Nick, that would be a big upset for novice racing if they lose a driver like MVR Nick in qualifying. But he's going to carry on with his lap though so far. He's up in that first sector. If he can hook this up, it could be just enough to see himself through into Q2. But James, pretty much all of the grid out on intermediate tyres.
And Opec retiring as well. I think that is coming in the pit lane. So Opec's retired out of the session. He feels he's done enough. I don't. I really do not. The time that drivers are going to improve, the rain is nearly stopping out on track. We're right on board. There's Nick. The rain has nearly stopped now out on track. It's completely eased up. Nick in the middle sector, he's only, well, he's 0.8 of a second up on his lap. He needs to find something, of course, in this final sector. Doesn't find this, he could be out in Q1. Doesn't find this time on a rocker, he'll be out, certainly in Q1, without the need for other people to go on another run. It's Louis Valentine out on top. It's Opec there in second, Dirk there in third, as Nick now comes through the final corner for NVR. On the run to the line, scribbling his way toward the line, and he goes quickest, 29.1. Puts me to shame, certainly, but Nick there out on top. Louis Valentine in second. Put it this way, Ross, if Nick can do that on a 29.1 on a second lap on a full set of wets, Opec's in trouble.
Yeah, no, Airpick, possibly. I think he didn't have enough time to really come out, though, and get himself set up for a lap, so he probably has done the right thing to retire. But yeah, as you said, big danger for the S7R driver on his debut race as well. Not a good way to and welcome yourself into the team like that. But OP Louis Valentine, though, was on a lap on the intermediate tyres. But I've got to say, though, James, with how big of a snap that Nick had in that final corner, it really could have been about a 29.0, possibly, if he had kept it going straight all the way. So yeah, really, to be honest, a really good lap by Nick, a good effort. If he doesn't get through, it was a strong effort to see himself through. But Louis Valentine, though, was definitely up on this one. The tails has improved, and so's BRT Magician into the 28.8. James, this track is ramping up. Nick, and especially Airpick, must be absolutely sweating right now.
Yeah, and I was on board with Keke for that lap as well. 28.5. Very, very good lap from his perspective. Tales as well is a second up on his lap time. Of course, he's just finished the lap. Dirk is up as well. Gabor in the middle sector. Let's see what Gabor is doing. A 5.5 in the middle sector. 6/10 up. Track improving all the time. F7R's Erpek, as long as there's no invalidations from two drivers behind him, Erpek's in trouble. Grimbles now goes quickest. We're going to see majority of drivers going quickest throughout this session. Gabor now in toward the final couple of corners. Can the BRT man now knock potentially Erpek further down the peg, as Gabor now on the run to the line will definitely do that. 5th position, bit of a scroll through Perotola, but he is through. Louis Valentine's definitely through. He is done. Dirk is invalid. So Dirk is invalid. Just trying to see if there's anybody else actually invalid. Kai Pearson coming through the middle sector is down, but he's a second up in the middle sector. So Kai Pearson, very much looking good. Everyone else is on a valid lap. Erpek is in trouble here. He's down in 11th. As long as drivers improve, Erpek is going out. Louis Valentine in the lead, from Grimbles in second. Keke in third, as a rocker there goes fourth. Reese Linton, though, on the run to the line. He puts himself second behind Louis Valentine. Kai Pearson now on the run to the line, trying to knock out Erpek potentially. He's in the wall, but he's through and he's into P3. Arch now to the line. Erpek's out. Erpek is out of Q1 on his debut. 28.9 from Arch, 29 flat from Volokongan. Havmik as well knocking him out. Dirk, the only man to come across the line. He is 9/10 down. He's not improving. So that is Dirk out, along with the FLT guys of Ogween, out of Luca Typical, and the NOX man, the MBR man even of Ogween. But Erpek out in Q1. Inexperience telling. I think more, though, it was just the position on track and the ability to not have enough time to come on for a set of inters.
Yeah, next 29.1 was just enough to save him through. Obviously, Airpace lap really was never going to be good enough with the times tumbling down. Louis Valentine, though, what a lap late on at 27.9, the first of the 27s we've seen today. The Frenchman looking very, very quick out there today. But Kai Pearson, Reece Linton, natural order for them. P2 and P3, a great finish for the team to be in. And still, there's your full classification of the qualifying. Keane in P5, but losing his teammate in Q1 will be a hard one.
It will be a hard one indeed. Yeah, Louis Valentine out on top from Reece Linton in second, Kai Pearson in third, Grimbles in fourth, Keane there in fifth. Look at the times as well. Second covering the top 10. We will get forward into Q2 and 3. Much closer qualifying sessions, put it this way. Grimbles in fourth, Keane in fifth, as I mentioned. Keki, then Aroka, then Magician, Arch, and Volakongan ran off the top 10. Shazoo with double drivers in for the first time in a couple of weeks, I think, actually, from the Shazoo perspective. Havmik there in 11th on his debut for ETA. Good man to get through into Q2 with Gabor, Markados, Tales, and Nick. In the end, 3/10 per second, the gap between Q1 and Q2. Urpek, Dirk, Luca, Typical, and Ogween. The bottom three, of course, having that qualifying ban. They're out the session already. And Dirk, of course, not getting a lap time in. He was another one that fell foul, unfortunately, of spins. As we get through into Q2, there is still the intermediate condition. Tyres means drivers can now go on for those intermediates. And what we can do, though, while we wait for Q2 to begin, is remind you all of the championship standings coming into tonight. Outplay Racing leading the way on 227, F7R in second on 192, and with Urpek out in Q1, Roz, that is going to be very interesting and puts Outplayed Racing now on the front foot.
Yeah, no, Outplayed definitely looking quick today with Louis topping the session in qualifying one. He topped the session, all the way through. F7R, yeah, not a good start for them. Currently losing one driver, but Keane, though, not one to be looked down on at all, up in second place in the team standing so far. With Novice Racing, though, Nick just getting through, should we say. He did save a set of inters, though, due to that, though, James. He's got another fresh set of inters to be used in this wet qualifying. Does it dry up near the end? Well, only time will tell with that one. But right now, it looks like intermediate conditions for qualifying too, and it'll be another interesting one for the rest of the field.
Yeah, definitely so indeed. Joe there saying in the chat he's turning his lights to blue to clap for the NHS2. Yeah, it's a good old pandemic phrase, I think, that we used to have, of course, back in the pandemic days, but everyone was stuck in their houses. All the times, all the joys of league writing back then as well. But Arch there out on top, Magician second, Reece Linton and third, Q2 now beginning, Grimbo's the first man out on track. And G-League, of course, have been well up there in terms of the actual standings coming into tonight. 6th position, ahead of NLR, ahead of Team Jazoo. If you said to me G-League would be ahead of both teams who are very well known on the PlayStation platform, I would have probably laughed in your face. But G-League have proved everyone wrong. They've got a very good lineup, of course, tonight in Aroka and Grimballs, formerly Team Mentalism drivers. How are they going to cope tonight with the conditions? Only time will tell. They're French, so they're probably going to get used to the rain.
Yeah, it's one of the fair assumptions you could make. They are pretty used to the rain over there. But Grimballs was another one that was looking really quick as well. Frenchmen seem to be fast in the Mexico circuit. Louis Valentine and Grimbles proving that early on. Grimbles so out first on the intermediate tyres, ended up P3, dropped down from P3 at the back end of that Q1 session, but another driver that's looking quick and hopefully can see himself through into qualifying 3. So this will be an interesting one for the rest of the field, but big ask for likes of Nick to really prove himself once again. We've seen that 29.1. It's one of the fastest times we've seen on the wet tyres, so possibly now on the inters he could end up going near the top of the session.
Yeah, definitely so. I think Grimbo's certainly real experience heads for G-League. I would not be surprised, mark my words, with 12 minutes to go in the session. Wouldn't be surprised if both their drivers get through into Q2. Pressure's on. Grimbo's on the run down. Now in towards turn number 1. Pretty much a 1 kilometre straight on the run down towards turn 1. And actually taking a bit of cheeky slipstream there for one of the Outplayed Racing drivers coming out of the pit lane as Grimbo's now comes down in towards the right-hander of turn number 1. Of course, much slower than in the dry conditions as we come now through the left-hander turn 2, then through the right-hander, flicking it through the right-hander turn number 3. Very nicely done indeed from Grimballs. Black box appeared on my screen. I thought we were going to get the screen of death there on my end, but Grimballs on the run in toward the first sector split, 31.5, exactly where you expect the intermediate compound tyres to be on your first lap, as now comes in toward the right-hander of turn number 5, and then in towards turn number 6 at Rakia corner, which is turn 6, the double right-hander. That pronunciation was absolutely terrible for me. I have been practicing that all night, put it this way, but Grimble's now through into the SA section, through 7, through the right-hander turn 8, through the left-hander of turn number 9, and then flicking it once again to the right and left of turns 10, then through the left-hander of turn number 11, through this middle sector split, looking much quicker than what we saw even at the end of qualifying there. 1 at 4.6, already up there in terms of the inters, the track evolving all the time, as it comes through now into the Forest All at turns 12 and 13. Very tricky corner. Get this wrong, you're in the wall, or you're speeding off onto the correction of the car and then have to try and drive it through the other direction. Grimble's having none of that, coming in towards Peril Tard at turn 16 and 17, on the run to the line, and a 27 flat to begin off Q2. Very, very solid lap there from Grimbles.
Yeah, the times are looking much quicker than they were qualifying. One market start off his lap, Magician with a 27.2 as well. PSR Arch just flying for that middle second, crossing with the other Aston Martin of Gabor, who jumps into the 26.9. That is what we like to see from the Boonga Racing team. NLR Keke will be next one to cross the line, finishing off his lap. Can he go to the 26? Just misses out with a 27.0. So times really ticking down from the Ferrari of OP Louis Valentine. Had a mess up, so that was on the outlaps. Sorry, for Louis, a double outlap. It seems Volkogen up into 4th place. But yeah, the time's really ticking down now, James. Possibly a chance of a 26, probably a low 26 for top of the session here.
Yeah, definitely so. Louis Valentine, by the way, down in 7th position, 31 flat from him. Disappointing from him, maybe just to get a bit of a delta time on, then to try and aim towards that next lap on a second run on that set of inters there from the German, as Havmik now comes in toward the final corner. Again, another driver formerly Team Norway Racing. He's going to absolutely obliterate the time. 26.8, goes a 10th quicker than Gabor, an experienced Division 2 face, of course, from this season, or Console Tier 2, I should say. From Gabor in second. Tales on a lap as well. The Brazilian now coming through the left-hander to turn 9, then through the right-hander turn 10 11. Put it this way, car control at your absolute maximum around here. You've got to basically control this car like you were controlling a sausage and a hot dog bun. Doesn't make sense, I know, but put it this way, once that sausage falls out, your car in the whole grand scheme of things will end up in the wall. Ross is probably looking at me thinking, what the hell have you just said? Markadol's out on top, Havmik in second, Gabor there in third, as Tales now comes through the final corner on the run toward the line. Might be going quicker than Havmik, and he doesn't. He goes third, but only 0.02 of a second off already. Good qualifying session, and we haven't even seen the Red Bull pairing of Reese or Kaya.
No, we have not. And OP Louis Valentine absolutely obliterates everyone. Never mind about the low 26, it's looking like a high 25. Louis Valentine, what is going on down there? 26.0 for the OP driver. Kai Pearson and Reese Linton will come through the middle sector respectively. Kai Pearson will be looking to try and beat that one, a 3.4 middle sector split. I'm not sure how that correlates to how OP Louis Valentine did it, but Kai Pearson will look to try and beat that one. But that's an absolute flyer from him. Volkogen improving to a 26.4 as well. Still 4/10 off of Louis Valentine's current top of the session time, though. But Kai Pearson wins the final corner. Can he be the one to beat Louis to the top of the session? He crosses the line. Now he does absolutely beat it as well. A 25.7. Can Reese Linton be the next one to beat that? He does beat that, and it's two of the drivers of to be announced with a 1-2 and both in the 25.8. So that is incredible to see. Kai Pearson 25.7, Reese Linton 25.8. They look at a 2 beat at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. So, Kayad on top, Reese in second. We now go back to the good old days of the Red Bulls 1-2 and the Ferraris 3-4 here in Legacy Division. Of course, OP and the to-be announced team fighting each other out. Kian might have something to say about that. I have put him under pressure by saying he could get knocked out in Q2. So let's see what Kian can do coming through this middle sector. As he comes out through a 103.6. He's off in the middle sector compared to Kai and Reese. It's going to be around a 26.4, 26.5. That sort of margin. Going to be enough to get him into Q2, but remember, the track will evolve, the conditions will get quicker as the session goes on, so this is now game time. Every single lap has got to be treated like their final lap here, out on track, as Kian now on the run toward the line. Bit of a squirrel coming out of Peril Tard, puts it P3, and makes me look like an absolute mug with that lap.
Yeah, Kian having a good lap there, just in behind his former PSR teammates of Reese Linton and Kai Pearson. MVR Nick, though, another one of the PSR lot that moved on from the team that shut down. Nick only into the 26.2, is not able to follow up into the 25s, but still a strong showing from the young German so far. He seems to have been not as quick as we usually see from the young German. He usually is one of the ones that goes near the top of the session, but clearly the wet causing a little bit of trouble for some of these drivers. As you can see, the track is still very busy in that last sector. It looks like we're going to see a lap time coming from ET8 Half. Mickey's into the pit lane, sorry. But Gio Grimbles will be setting himself up for what looks to be one more lap. And it looks like the Ferrari as well of OP Marcados. Looks like going very slowly actually into the pit lane. Looks like we've got a very quiet track for what I thought was a busy track. Looks like we have a quieter one than what I thought. Magician has invalidated in the final sector. Grimbles into the pit lane. Everyone preparing themselves for what looks like to be probably one more proper lap to go.
Yeah, one more lap to go, indeed. Everyone, I think, is coming into the pit lane, realising that conditions are improving, stick on a fresh set of inters, and then let's get on with things. In the chat, Shazoo Rain is asking thoughts on Sunderland. Well, Sunderland is where I live, Sunderland is where I breathe, and Sunderland is the football team I unfortunately support as well. And it's a bit of a crap place to live, I've got to be honest. But I would big it up and say, yeah, it's the bee's knees. Put it this way, it's not. It is absolutely not. Leicester is cool, apparently, according to Rain. Yeah, I think Leicester are going to do us in next week against Sunderland, put it that way. Thoughts on Borough as well. Borough, I think, are a very good team, very nice city. Sunderland's probably better than the Smoggies down there. But Middlesbrough doing very well. Michael Carrick has got them cooking there in the Championship. But Kai Pearson out on top, currently cooking here in Lexi Division. There's a rocker there in Validate coming in towards the right-hander. Turn number 12, he's the first man on track. 27-1, G League under pressure. Grimbol's currently out, a rocker currently out. This is a big lap potentially coming in from the Frenchman as the neck comes through. Pel Tardo at turn 16 and 17 on the run toward the line. It's Kai from Reese from Kean, the top three. But we are going to see how everything is going to go out on track and how a rocker is going to fare on this lap. On a fresh set of inters, you'd surely think, Ross, he is going to be well up there in terms of the times.
Yeah, no, Rocker definitely want you counting as one of the top runners, especially for G League today. Big slide though through turn one. He's kept it going straight. He may have actually gained some time from how decent that slide was through turn number one. He keeps it in the limits through it, exits turn number four. Looking towards turn number four there, the exit at turn three. That tricky 1, 2, 3 section at the start is possibly one that kind of makes or breaks your lap. There he comes turn four then, keeping a nice close apex there on your left hand side. Then to the right for turn number five. This small straight, definitely no chance of overtaking up the inside there, but through he comes turn number six. This long sort of holding out that right hander as long as you can, getting good amount of traction on exit and towards the fast exit. Here's F7 Archean. James, he's absolutely blown you out the water here. 25.2. Yeah,
put it this way, I put him under the pressure, and now his pressure is being delivered. I think his father's had a word with him, said, you know what, up at another 20% and do James in the commentary box. A rocker 103.5 in the middle sector. He's showing purple in that middle sector. 9/10 up, nearly gets it wrong. Coming through turn number 12 again. In toward the Feral Soul now at 13.14. And again, running wide of the curb, he's all over the place. Coming through the baseball stadium section here, a rocker is not liking this at all. Coming out through the right-hander of Pebble Tarver at 16 and 17. Kian from Kai from Reese, a rocker to the line. I'm surprised he's gone fifth with that lap, I'll be brutally honest. 26th lap, that looked absolutely all over the shop from the G League man. And he's got to hope that with only, 3.5 minutes to go in the session, a rocker is going to have to try and go for another lap. Because otherwise he's going to be into the pit lane and he's going to run out of time to come actually go for another run. As Grimbles is preparing for a run, Magician preparing for a run as well. This is now a game from everyone.
Yeah, everyone's got to get those final laps in and get them good, because I tell you what, a 26.0 looks good with a 1 second improvement, but on paper, it really isn't as good as you think. Kean going 8/10 faster than that lap time tells you enough about where the track is at the moment. Grimble's 2/10 up though on that current 26.5. He's got to find a bit more time as well through this middle and final sector if he wants to improve this up. But it was apparently a purple personal sector for GL Grimbles. We've seen him do really well near the back end of that qualifying one session. Really looking to get a double Q3 appearance today. Can they make it happen? I would love to see it. Through he comes in the second sector then. Turn number 9 now through turn 10 and 11. This fast right left hand section. You keep it in the limits. He does it nicely. It'll be a lot faster usually in the dry, but in the wet he took it nicely, nice and calm. Keeps it going straight through turn 12. He comes at the right hander. You can see it very easy to invalidate on the left hand side. Not for Grimbles, it isn't though. So he carries on through the stadium section now. Close apex there on the left hand side at turn 13, turn 14, 15 and now 16. The second last corner, and through the last corner he comes. This long right hander. It's all about getting the traction down as best as possible, and I tell you what, he's done it to perfection. Can Grimbles must go faster than Key, and he can! And a 25.1 from the Frenchman. That will definitely be one to see him through at Q3.
Yeah, definitely so. Will Rocket just end up for another lap as well. He's got Magician coming to the line to go 5th. Gabor 103 flat. He's looking good actually towards the line. Aston Martin goes 2nd and only 200ths of a second off Grimbo's in behind as well. Somebody just starting up their lap. Tales is through the first sector. Havmik was the one just starting up on a run, if I get my words out. Havmik there in 14th. Keki just starting up on a run as well. Just trying to see if there's who is furthest on. Louis Valentin is furthest on, but he's 5/10ths down in the middle sector and he's backed off his lap. So Louis Valentin in 7th position, minute and a half. He's got plenty of time to try and go for another run. Maybe he is just trying to get a delta time. Aim for that delta and then try and improve on his final run. But Louis Valentin in 7th, backing off, trying to get the best traction, the best conditions out on track. The rain has almost stopped now out on track, so they better get on with their lap times quick. Otherwise, this track is going to really evolve, and therefore we're not going to see many improvements as we go through the session. As Grimbo's out on top, Gabor 2nd, Keen in 3rd. Louis Valentin just starting up on his lap now. He's there in 7th. Just trying to see, though, if there's anybody else on a run right now. A Rocker is down. Keki is 9/10ths up. So Keki, the NLR man, in toward the Ferrosol at turns 12-13. In towards the Peraltada section at 16 and 17. The rain is still falling. Bit of a correction there from Keki through 16. Then through the right hand, turn 17. That might have cost him on Grimbo's time. Does it? No. 24.9. Big lap time from Keki. Goes quickest. Track evolving all the time.
Yeah, the track is getting quicker and quicker by every single lap that they do. ET Havmik might just beat NLR Keke here, though. If Keke is not careful, it could be an exit for him as Havmik crosses the line now.
Wow.
A 25.1 seems strong, but is it strong enough?
Oh!
Gabor blocking penalty. That last sector was an absolute bus stop, James, and that was coming for someone. And luckily, Gabor, that is falling on you, my friend. OP Louis Valentine is looking forward to this lap, though, for the middle sector. 3.5 up in the first sector. Can he find more time during this S section of the track at the exit at turn 11? The centre line just coming up very, very shortly as you reach towards the end. He is 1.2 seconds up, James. This is looking like an easy pull up for the Frenchman, and could it be?
Could it be? But remember, track evolving. Everyone is going to happen. Volokongan getting blocked by 3 cars. He looks like he's out there in 15th. Had enough time to go for another run, so he's still safe. Potentially, Louis Valentin comes to the line. Is this a 24.3? Yes, it is. Brilliant lap time from Louis Valentin. Goes quickest of everyone. Grimbo's is up coming through the middle sector. Havmik also up. Gabor also up. Kian also up. Kyle was up. And Tales is certainly up because he's 6/10ths the line and he goes 2nd. Might not be enough potentially to get him into Q3. But remains to be seen. Marcados to the line. LP1-2. 24.5 for Marcados. Good lap from the German. Keki there now to the line. He splits the pairing. So NLR Keki goes 2nd. Nick now goes ahead of Marcados. Are we talking about Marcados potentially being out here in Q2? Talis certainly is in the bubble. Havmik now on the run to the line. Improving big time. Havmik to the line. Goes 5th. Puts Talis down another position. Grimbo's now is coming through the final couple of corners. As Arch there goes 2nd. Big lap time from him. Magician there going 8th. He looks like he's out. Reese Linton to the line. 23.8. How do you like them apples? As Grimbo's now comes to the line. Puts Marcados down in 7th. Gabor 2/10ths up. He's going to be the final man, I think, to come across the line. King goes it through. Volokongan doesn't. And I think the Aston Martin's done enough as well just to get through as well. It is Gabor who goes into 4th position. We'll round off everything in terms of Q2 in just a second when it comes up on our screen. But a frantic end to Q2. Reese Linton out on top. A phenomenal performance from him. 4.5 clear, and the to-be-announced team are here to cook, put it that way. Louis Valentin in 2nd, Arch there in 3rd, Gabor, even with that 5-second grid penalty, goes down to 9th, gets through into Q3, I believe. Keki there in 5th, with Nick in 6th, Kian there in 7th, Grimbles in 8th, Marcados in 9th, and my oh my, look who is in 10th position, Kai Pearson scraping through with a barrel of his teeth, only by a 10th of a second, might not seem like much. Put it this way, it's not around a track like this. Havmik there, Tales, Magician, Volokongan, and a rocker out. But, great qualifying in Q2. Reese Linton out on top. In the end, down in 10th position, Kai Pearson, to be announced, have got one driver toward the front end, one driver toward the bottom end, and barely making it through.
Yeah, it was like a big mistake for Kai in the final sector. He lost all his time in there. I just checked his race director there. His last sector really wasn't that great, and he just dropped a lot of time, possibly during that last corner with the lack of traction that he had. But even still, getting through to Q3 with that lap will be good enough for him, and now they have a good chance of setting up that 1-2 that we're so very used to seeing from the likes of Kai Pearson and Reese Linton. But Gabor also with that 5-place grid play. I'm not sure if there's going to be a restart yet. I'm not seeing any discussions of that just yet. But even still, though, a very, very good Q3 coming up. One Chizou driver, two to be announced drivers, two outplayed drivers for the first time in a while. NLR Keke seeing Tales eliminated in qualifying. To MVR Nick through as well. Gabor through, no Magician alongside him. OP Louis Valentine and Grimbos looking to set up for the two Frenchmen as well.
Yeah, definitely so. And obviously, with 12 minutes to go in this session, look at the conditions out on track. Might look wet out on track. It is dry, though. It is bone dry, that circuit. And we are going to see everyone else might be selecting inters for now. They might do one run on the inters and then transition to the dry compound tyre, maybe go for the second run, see how the tyres are feeling. But in terms of the actual weather forecast out on track, it was full wet, then into inters, now into a dry Q3, seemingly. So this is going to be really interesting. It means everyone has got to change their setups. It means everyone now has got to be on point in terms of their actual delivery, in terms of their laps. But looking at the split, Kai Pearson, Nick, Louis Valentine and Grimbos, the four that are on a set of soft compound tyre and opting to go out, it seems, on those tyres. Looks like, though, as soon as I've said that, Arch and Keki are now going to follow through as well. So everyone's going to be coming on that set of softs. But the delta time, constantly changing out on track loss, I'm not even sure what these guys are going to be coming out on when they come out for their final runs.
Yeah, no, I mean, the track looks dry, but it could have just be greasy. Could it just be the fact the rain has only just stopped? But I really can't tell. But it looks like everyone has selected a dry tyre to start with. See a couple of inters, though, still with the likes of Reese Linton and also BRT Gabor and Louis Valentine. But a soft tyre for Arch, Kai Pearson, MVR Nick and GL Grimbos. Who's going to take that first shot coming out of the pits to really test out the track? I really want to see, because right now, you know, it looks dry. It looks like there's no more rain, but could it just be a really hard track to dry up on quite quickly? And could it be a struggle for these guys on the dry tyres?
Yeah, looking through the chat, by the way, in terms of the lobby, Dirk saying he wants a restart. He is the lobby host at the end of the day, is Dirk, so we might need a restart after this. What potentially could happen, though, I think, in this Q3 session, because the delta time is changing so much, and we see drivers swapping back from inters to a set of softs, it seems like, though, I was about to say we're going to have maybe a bit of a lull period and then everyone come out in the final 3 minutes of the session. That's not going to happen because one of the AlphaTauris is biting the bullet, and that, of course, is Keki. He's the only AlphaTauri in the field, the F1 Esports Challengers man, picking up a podium position, of course, in Brazil. Looking at the track, with the spray coming off, that is not intermediate condition tyres. Put it that way. The spray just tells it all. And Keki, well, good luck, my friend. Put it this way, I'm very happy I'm in the commentary box right now because we are having 100 people watching Keki right now on a set of soft compound tyres on still a wet track.
Yeah, it looks like it could be a struggle lap for him. Could he be right into the pit box early on? I'm going to see those here. A couple more drivers making their way out. It looks like they're all on soft tyres as well, though, James. So possibly Keke is on the right track with being on the softer. Yeah, DRS is enabled, so the track is definitely drying up. So Keke is luckily on the right tyres. You won't have to go back into the box. And well, this is going to be it, James. The fast times are going to be coming in rapidly with the track getting better and better with every single lap. And that dry line will be coming on very quickly indeed.
Confirmed as well, by the way, we are getting a restart after Q3, so that means you have to put up with us for another 10 minutes while everything gets going in terms of the lobby restart, which hopefully is not too bad on your end, hopefully not bad on my end either. But yeah, Keki on the first man out on track. Now this is the time in the session where I normally say, oh yeah, we're not going to get an illegal blocking penalty, but there's 10 drivers out on track, many of them going slow. We could see a 5-second penalty for an illegal blocking, especially coming in towards turn 6 and then through the SA section in the middle sector. But yeah, Keki just making his way around, thinking that the track is going to dry. Spray you can still see on that front left compound of tyres, I'm right on ball with him. You can still see the spray being kicked off. The track is drying, but 2 kilometres above sea level, the track is going to dry a hell of a lot slower than what it does when you're 1 metre above sea level, like in Abu Dhabi, as Keki comes through in towards the Forest Soul. It's going to be the first man out on track. Get your predictions in the comment section right now, how everyone is going to be doing in terms of who you think is going to be on pole position. Jeff Barron in the chat is saying Grimbo's pole position. Wild guess. That is a wild guess indeed from the G League man. Down in 10th position. Keki, though, better start up on his run. On the run now down in towards turn number 1. And Joel saying in the chat, there are 3 things that are certain in life. James Hyde commentating, lost Greenhorn eaten, and England losing. Apparently Italy's winning against England.
That seems like the right answer to me. Enel Keke, though, is on a lap, and he's going to be finishing off on a very deep into turn one. Hot on the brakes, he keeps it going straight, luckily. But James, that was a very good save from Keke, and I tell you what, this track might not be dry enough just yet, James. Maybe your call seems to be all right. How does Marcados takes it? He carries on through the first sector. He seems decent enough, bit better than Keke wasn't the turn one anyway, but yeah, it seems to be going a little bit better. This track confusing the drivers almost. You know, the dry tyres look to be going alright, but as the grip levels there just yet, maybe the inters would have been a safer option to start off with. But surely as these drivers get these laps in, the track gets drier and drier, well, the times will hopefully tick back down.
Yeah, definitely. So Marcados, by the way, for a bit of reference, 7/10 quicker than Keke with that mistake through the first sector. I'm on board with the OP man coming now through the middle sector. But again, this track, not bone dry. Set us off compounded tyres. They're basically taking it at around 85 to 90% throttle. They are not fully flat coming through the SA section there. Marcados in the middle sector, 1 minute 7. Going to be the quickest times we're going to see all night. But Marcados, in terms of the limit, Ferrasol looking dry, I've got to say, coming now through this part of the track. Offline, it seems fine. Online, it seems still a little bit dank. So we're going to see the drivers trying to improve. Nick opting not to go out, by the way, in terms of his final run, it seems, for now at least. Might wait until the track improves. Might be a good call, as Marcados definitely gets a good call. 21.9 goes quickest for now. Keke there in second. Arch there in third. Arch is on the lap as well for Shazoo. He's on the run in toward the final couple of corners. Kai Pearson now just absolutely obliterates Marcados' time by 9/10 of a second. Reese now puts it into second. So Arch there in fifth. Where does he go? He actually splits the pairing of the to-be-announced team. Kai out on top, and Louis Valentine coming in there and going 400s quicker as well. This qualifying session, wide open it seems.
Yeah, 4 minutes to go for the session. Grimbo's invalidation on his first lap attempt. Gabo also invalidating Nick back into the pits along with Keat. But I tell you what, OP Louis Valentine today looking like a fantastic chance of taking that pole position for Outplayed Racing. As you said, that win in Monaco. You hope it carry on that momentum and see what he can do today in Mexico. Two completely different tracks, mind you, but he's showing his class once again. So, James, I'm going to call on this and the YouTube chat as well. Who do you think will be taking pole position? Me, personally, I'm going to back the Frenchman of OP Louis Valentine.
Well, I think it's going to be one of the to-be-announced drivers, given how they've been progressing through this Q3 session. I'm not sure which one, because I am absolutely torn between them both. Kai now quicker than Reese. I said Reese potentially for pole position last time, and he's in fourth position and 5/10 off his teammate. So these conditions absolutely changing. For now, I'm going to stick with Kai. I think Kai will go on pole. Louis Valentine has looked very, very good. Probably out of the extraordinary, I think, in terms of his lap times. The OP man there down in first position, or up there in first position. Kai Pearson in second, Arch there in third. Drivers now beginning to come out the pit lane. Nick has decided to go out, though. And I think this is smart, actually, from the Novus Racing man. He's there in 8th position. Track is now bone dry, it seems, for Nick. We are going to be beyond the 21 flat as we get to the end of the session. Is this putting him, A, at risk of being completely outgunned toward the late end of the session? Or will this be taking full advantage of the conditions out on track given to him, and he's going to go on pole by a few seconds and put everyone else under pressure?
Yeah, I mean, it could be any of those scenarios, really. It just depends on how the track is. And I tell you what, I think I agree with you there. The track looks absolutely bone dry. That dry line is very easy to see now. It looks like this could be the times where we start seeing the times tick into maybe about the 18s or maybe even the 17s as well. But MVR Nick, out nice and early. Clear track ahead. This could really be a big opportunity for him. If he can hook this lap together, it could be a pole position for Novus Racing. A driver at the back, a driver at the top, everyone will be in that Novus Racing sandwich, and that'll be a tough one to get out of. But the Alpha Tauri of Enel Keke also making his way out. But Nick, though, through the final sector, can he hook it up? Let's all find out.
Yeah, no Flying Scotsman, of course, to rely on this time around for Novus Racing. Nick is coming in toward the final couple of corners. He's got a bit of traffic, I think, coming out of the pit lane as well. Evan there saying in the chat, whoever gets the last run gets pulled. Yeah, could well be agreeing on that, as that Nick now comes through the final corner. And put it this way, I don't think he's actually on a run, judging by him coming across the line like that. Maybe it's just this Delta time thing that we talked about in Q2 with Marcados, but Nick certainly not going to go on a run. Don't blame him, to be honest. He might be going back in sync with everyone else. And Nick is definitely not going to be setting the quickest lap time so far of tonight. Maybe one of the weirder things that you normally see in Legacy Division with this. But Nick, In 8th position, idling his way down into turn 1. Put it this way, I think a grandma on a scooter that goes about 40 mile an hour could be going faster than him right now. But Louis Valentine out on top, Kai in second, Archer there in third. Nick is trudging his way in towards the end of the first sector split. It's going to be beating my first sector around here. Put it that way, it's a 42.1 in the first sector from Nick. Very, very strong lap so far, but he's lagging all over the place. And he's left the session.
Oh no, yeah, let's hope we can. I think that's going to be it from Nick. Yeah, that is unfortunate for him. The lackout was costing him his chance of a lap. So yeah, unfortunate for Nick. He is now going to be starting probably about P10 if everyone else gets their laps in. Leading the way though, NLR Keke. A man, you know, you can't count him out for a pole just yet. So not a great start to the qualifying with a 22.5, but you just cannot count out how good his pace can be for NLR, how reliant he's been for that NLR team. And well, I really hope that this is the one for them again tonight. The Ferrari of Uppbeat Marcadors just in behind them. This pole shootout really is so wide open, James. I just can't pick really who it's going to be. You can see everyone is banged up together on track. Well, let's see then. Keke round in the final few corners, James. Take us away for the end of qualifying 3.
Yeah, Nick saying about another Nick saying in the chat, by the way, someone unplugged his Ethernet. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, he joined back the session very quickly indeed, so I think it might have just been his internet connection just dying on him once again. But Keke now in toward Peraltada, and nearly spinning coming out of Peraltada. Goodness me, on the limit coming through the white line there. Out of Peraltada. Keke now on the run down in towards turn number 1, but my god, he's not sorted this lap up very quickly indeed. He now comes in towards the right-hander of turn number 1. We'll ride on board with him, we'll turn the timing we'll put the timing timer on the left-hand side. You can see everyone's lap times as they progress through. Nick, though, has not come across the line, obviously. He went back into the pit lane, so he's not going to get in the run. Everyone else has. I think the, who's that? One of the AlphaTauris, I think that might be. Sorry, Grimbos, that is the final man on track there, down in 10th position. Keke, though, through the first sector. Purple in the first sector from him. Enlorman now absolutely cooking. This comes in toward the right-hander of turn number 6 as Rakia now coming in toward the left-hander of turn number 7. But Louis Valentine out on top. Kai Pearson second. Arch in third. Put it that way, it's not going to end that way, I don't think, in Q3 either, as Keke now comes in toward the end of the middle sector, invalidates, that is him done for the session, not going to be improving beyond 6th, he could be down as far as 9th position, just trying to see if there's anybody else on a lap. Marcadors was the next man on a lap, he's at 57.4 in the middle sector, big improvement, going to be going quickest out of everyone. He's not the first man though out on track with Keke, of course invalidating his run, as Marcadors now comes in towards the right-hander of the Ferrosol, now in toward Peraltada at turn 16, then through the right-hander turn number 17. German's going to go quickest. What's the lap time, though? Is it a big benchmark? Yes, it is. 16.8. Very good lap time from him. Louis Valentine is coming through in the middle sector. Arch doesn't go quicker. Kai Pearson does, though, by 300ths of a second. Reese Linton now goes quickest. Kian now goes quickest. Louis Valentine to the line goes 4th. Gabor now is valid, luckily. Gets to the end of the session. He's back in the pit lane. And it is Kian, the man who we didn't even see in terms of qualifying, out on top. From Reese Linton in second, Kai Pearson in third, and F7R Kian. Put it this way, I'll put the pressure on him saying he could be a Q2 knockout. Look what's just happened, he's on pole.
Yeah, well, actually, if one of my friend, that is some prediction from you. F7R Kian, what a lap in the end. Getting that pole position for F7R after winning the last time out with Yossi. Kian trying to follow up on that same goal that they're going for once again. Second in the championship, trying to outscore OP again to the Airpeck though. You know, struggling to come out of that one out in Q1, but he's got a long way to go in this race. But Kian on pole, Reese Linton in second, Kai Pearson home in third as well. Louis Valentine, Marcadors 4th and 5th, Grimbo 6th, Arch in 7th, Keke in 8th, MVR Nick didn't even end up coming in 10th. He started 9th, and Gabor, no lap for him in P10.
Yeah, disappointing from Gabor's perspective, invalid on his final run. Nick as well, invalid on his run as well. Of course, Gabor having that 5-second penalty overhanging him as well at the end of qualifying there, certainly in Q2 that was indeed. We're going to go for an intermission break while we get the new lobby set up and everything. You can enjoy some music and adverts in the meantime. We'll be back with you in a few minutes. Well, welcome back, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that little bit of music and the adverts that we had. Zocker Ryan saying in the chat it reminds him of a Fortnite Win compilation song. And I can see those build and edit fights on the background. Yeah, definitely so. It is one of our registered streaming musics in the description, as well as Next Level Racing. Of course, you can find all product placements there for Next Level Racing in the description as well. Find a product placement behind me on the camera as well. You're not seeing me on the camera, but I have got the Next Level Racing chair in behind as well. We've got a full grid and we should be getting going very soon indeed in terms of the racing. But it gives us a chance for us to review, of course, what happened last week. Yossi taking the win from Marlon in second, Enzo there in third, and F7R once again at the top end of the standings once again in qualifying. Kian this time out on top. Is he now going to follow in the footsteps of F7R Yossi last week and win again?
I'm sure that is their plan indeed. Yeah, Yossi, such a dominant race win last week, Marlon and Enzo, alongside him on the podium, but such good points in the end for Bunga Racing Team as well. Matthew, for what was Parnell Racing in 6th place, Marcador 7th, Taicho. Not the greatest result either for the other F7R driver, but still some good points for them. Keke in 9th, Raptor for FRT in 10th, Shizu Racer 11th after getting caught up an instant with Liam Bowman, Sam Gamer in 12th, MVRX in 13th, Hazara 14th, and GL Ghost King scoring some good GL points as well. Double GL points is something we haven't seen a lot this season. So yeah, some very good stuff so far. And I tell you what, they're having a good chance today.
Yeah, definitely so. By the way, one of the Red Bulls has just left. I think that is Mr. Reese Linton who has just left. So hopefully get back him in the lobby very, very swift indeed. And looking through as well in terms of the standings coming into tonight. Outplayed Racing leading the way on a 227 points. Louis Valentine, of course, dominated Q1 in Q2 there. F7R Keen just getting the better of him very late on. F7R, though, in second on 192 points. Novus Racing in third on 169. Bunga Racing Team in fourth on 151. Parnell Racing in fifth on 142. G League in sixth on 126. NLR Esports in 7th on 115, Team Shizu in 8th on 113. Then to be announced, that is not a Christmas show that we normally get in the Christmas TV guides. To be announced is in 9th position on 92 points, ET8 in 10th on 77, then Future Racing Team in 11th on 61, and Nexus Racing Team in 12th on 35 points. And Outplayed Racing, of course, leading the way by 35 points coming into tonight, Ross. F7R, though, again with Kian, out on top in terms of qualifying. And F7R, remember, at the start of the season, had no points from Monaco. So their rise, I think, their meteoric rise this season has been phenomenal once again to watch.
Yeah, I know, they're a team that you look at, you see so much quality in that PlayStation side, like Taicho Hardy coming back to the PlayStation after, I'm guessing just with the finish of the PC stuff. For now, again with Kian and signings of Airpec and all the other drivers have signed from bringing back from PSR as well. So yeah, they're such a good team with so much quality and depth that every week they turn up with a good lineup, and you know they're going to be scoring some good points like we saw last week with the Yossi as well. But again, Outplayed Racing, as long as they score some good points every single week, they'll be looking like a really strong contender to finishing out their run of leading the way until the very end. Novus Racing as well, though, on their debut season in the WOR Legacy Division, up there in third place as well, which is a very good one. As you said earlier, I think you said would, I guess, outperformed themselves slightly, and I guess you could say they have. Third place in your debut season is definitely one to look forward to. And Bunga Race Team as well in fourth as well.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm just quickly checking through the settings, making sure everything is okay. It looks like everything is all good to go. In fact, yes, they are, because I've just had the rulebook up and everything is fine. So yes, we can get underway very soon indeed. But yeah, Outplayed Racing, of course, going to be looking forward to seeing how they get on, of course, out on track. Liam saying, I need E-Series comms, James, there in the chat. Well, PSGL E-Series is going to be happening, of course, next week. I can't reveal much at this stage, but we had a bit of a conversation a little bit early on. You might or might not be seeing me there next week in terms of commentary, which if I do get the chance, I'm very excited for. If not, I totally understand. Whoever does it, I'm sure, is going to be in the box seat for doing the PSGL E-Series next week. And it's WOR, of course, against PSGL, the who's who, the top dogs, the console tiers coming clashing together. And I'm looking forward to seeing how that progresses, as well as, of course, the drivers that we've got out on track tonight. And looking at the track map in question, because we've only got 10 seconds to go until the lobby starts, 4.3 kilometers in length, 2.6 mile, and 3 DRS zones, 1 down the start finish straight, 1 up towards turn number 4, and then 1 in towards turn number 12 at the end, and towards the Forest Soul at turns 13 and 14. So, Mexican Grand Prix, here we go, Ross. Once again, it could be potentially one of the races of the season like we saw with Jeddah, or like with most races that we see in Legacy Division, manic, like last week in Belgium.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, the last 4 races have been absolutely phenomenal. From Jeddah to Qatar, from Austria to Belgium to now here in Mexico City. This could be another one to add to that list of just fantastic races recently. And I tell you what, from my first commentary in Qatar, that was up there with race of the season. But after seeing Belgium, that could definitely be there as well. But Mexico is no one to be missed out on, especially for the fact we've got full sunshine here in Mexico City. F7R keying on pole, but with the 2-2 announced drivers behind him is a tough one for himself.
Yeah, definitely so, indeed. Yeah, Kian is going to be under pressure. Of course, it's a very long run down in towards turn number 1, the longest run, I think, on the F1 Canada, down in towards turn number 1. So we could see a bit of trailing down in towards turn number 1, could see a lot of slipstream down in towards turn number 1 as well. Could even see a few crashes in towards turn number 1, and maybe an early safety car or 2. But regardless of the action, everything is going to be all to play for. Remember, Outplay Racing leading the way by 35 points. Coming into tonight over F7R, the 2 teams doing battle once again. The 2 age-old rivals. It's a bit like England and Scotland. Age-old rivals for F7R and OP in terms of their racing and in terms of their controversy as well over the last couple of weeks, certainly from an OP perspective. They put that completely behind them now. This is what we need to deliver. Some really good racing out on track, and hopefully we do see that for the better. Looking through the comments, let me know in the comments who who you're predicting for your win. We're going to be getting soon, going very, very soon indeed. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting. And Jav is asking in the chat, he doesn't know if he wants to get an Indian or a Chinese, which is, I would say, probably go for the Indian.
Well, personal preference for that one, James. Personal preference. But looking at how strong the grid is here tonight, I'm going to look at this. I'm going to look at the chat as well, see what your predictions are for the race. But personally, for me, I'm going to go one of the 2 announced drivers. I'm going to go with Rhys Linton. I believe that he will be the one to cross the line first. I think he's just too strong for the rest of them at the moment, especially with his teammate right next to him as well. That is, it's just a recipe for a win for those 2. But James, I'll ask you personally as well. Who do you think is going to win the race?
I'm going to stick by my man. I'm going to stick by Kai Pearson for the race win. Now, I know I've been absolutely changing my opinion throughout the night in terms of the qualifying. But yeah, I think Kai's got every ability to try and win this race. Not only a very quick driver, not only very, very good around this track, he is also very consummate in terms of his racecraft. So we should see that tonight. Kai, once again, I think is going to be at the forefront. We are going to be getting to die, which is fantastic news to everyone here in the comment section. But there we are. We are back. Hopefully that was just a slight intermittent thing. It is not my internet dying or anything like that. I was just intermittent. Thank God it has started before the 5 red lights are coming on right now here for Mexico. It is round number 8 of the championship, and it is lights and away we go, and Kean gets a very good start. Bit slow of the start there for Magician toward the back end of the field, but Kean might lead down in towards turn 1, but already 3 abreast. Kai and Rhys side by side running down in towards turn 1. They don't want to make contact, certainly into this tight part of the section of track, as Kean now leads in towards turn 1, but Kai goes all the way around the outside of him and leads through turn 2. Brilliant stuff from Kai around the outside of Kean. Rhys and Louis Valentine side by side. Gabor was up in contact with Typical, I think, toward the back end of the field. Louis Valentine as well getting caught out wide under pressure from the Chizuman of Arch. Oh, and Rhys Linton very much late on the brakes there. Everyone's got cold hard compounded tyres. They're 3 wide, Freddie Rasmussen style, in towards the right-hand return 6 and 7. But Kai Pearson leads, Kean in second, Rhys Linton in third. Very good start from Kai, gets the race team. There's 3 wide coming through in the background. Nick, Luca and Dirk, I think that was, all side by side. Kai leads coming through the S section for the first time.
Yeah, big collision there between Nick and Luca. They went wheel to wheel into turn number 7, and yeah, that was a collision. Nick has came out worse than that. There's also a big collision round at turn 1 with FRT Typical, BRT Gabor and NRX Ogween as well. Luckily all going straight. Tails having a big mistake there in the middle sector. Araka looking to get moves on Luca as well. Luca may have some damage for future race team. That's why he's struggling with much. It looks like no left wing end plate on that future racing team Haskar. So it looks like a pit stop inbound for him. But Kai Pearson, what a start from him into turn 1, and that was a good move on the inside, getting it finished on F7 Arcane and leading the way away for now. Maybe not the best place to be leading so far down this long straight, but having his teammate 9/10s back is definitely not a good sign for Reese Linton. Already getting dropped, using about 50% of the battery on the opening lap is something that's unheard of nowadays. But Kai Pearson and Reese Linton have got to try and pick their moments and try and see if they can pick off F7 Archean.
Yeah, definitely so. What has Opek cooked in the chat was one comment. What has Volokongan and Dirk cooked as well in the chat as well, with Ogween also gaining 5 positions. All of them, Volokongan, Opek, Dirk and Ogween, all gaining 5 positions respectively. Most positions lost, however. Nick, after that contact, down in 19th position after that spin through the middle sector. That is unfortunate for him. Down in 19th, Luke, as you mentioned, was the Haas in at the background of short that had that bit of contact. But Keane on the back of Kai, coming through the S section once again. Of course, first race here in Legacy Division in Mexico. Out of the 3 seasons we've actually been here, this is the first race we are actually seeing as Keki is on the back of Marcados. Marcados, by the way, was looking very quick, I've got to say, down the straight line, so might be looking to try and get early position gaining. But it's a typical old Mexico thing. We're stuck in a big old DRS train early on here in the race for Mexico. Keane on the back of Kai, maybe looking down in towards turn 1. He's got the straight line speed. Has he got the momentum to try and carry in towards turn number 1? Here is the McLaren on the back of the Red Bull. You can see him pulling out to the right-hand side. He does not want to go for this move at all. It's lap 3. You do not want to go. But maybe you do, because I've just spied Keane was actually catching there from Reese Linton. Maybe that is the tactic for F7R, for Keane certainly, to try and give Reese the slip outside of a second, and then Keane and Kai battle potentially for the race win.
Yeah, and they need to try and keep Reese Linton out of that battle as long as possible. F7R do, just because, you know, if having the two of them work together, it's just an absolute disaster for Keane having his teammate in a P11 with no help for him. So really, you know, Kai might have to try and introduce PSR Arch into this, which might mean that Reese Linton can get by Keane, and Arch can also get introduced to that fight and get him past F7 Keane for a possible P3 as well. So yeah, so much strategy and so much thought process has to go into this for some of these drivers. Good start though for GL Grimbos up in a P6, and OP Louis Valentine currently in behind PSR Arch, who's almost dropped out of that DRS range of Reese Linton ahead up in P3. So Arch has got to be careful he doesn't get dropped out, because that could be major for trying to get back in the DRS range.
Yeah, stunning cam angle, by the way. Coming through with the helicopter cam over the Ferrosol. Now coming through pedal top at turn 16 and 17. Keane on the back of Kai. Down in towards turn number 1. There was a mistake, though, by Arch. And Arch now under pressure. 14% of ERS, as you mentioned. Louis Valentine sitting pretty on 65. If I was him right now, I'd be using this up to try and gain, as Keane is gaining on the back of Kai. Pulls the inside line in towards turn number 1 and gets the race lead. Does the McLaren. So that was easy pickings there from the man from Austria. Gets the job done. Kai there in second. Reese there in third. Kai there on the back, though. We've got to try and come back at him in towards turn number 4. Remember, though, in terms of the DRS zones around here, the first 2, that's turn 1 down, and that's down in towards turn number 1 and down in towards turn number 4, are both shared by the same DRS detection points. We actually only get 2 doses of DRS around here rather than 3, even though there's 3 DRS ranges, DRS zones around here as well. But Reese is trying to drop Arch. Arch there in 4th. Of course, Jazoo's newest signing, of course, and he's looking to try and provide himself with a very good result here tonight. But he's under pressure, though, to try and close in on the back of Reese. Louis Valentine right in the meantime as well. But Keane there leading. Kai in second, Reese there in third. And again, I think I've got that wrong. He might not be Austrian. I think he might be Dutch, if I'm not mistaken. But let me know in the comment section what his right nationality is, and I will correct that in my notes.
Yeah, I believe you'll get made fun of in the chat now, James, about that for being called him Austrian. But yeah, I believe he is Dutch and he is leading the way. Still with DRS, though, now active for these guys behind Kai Pearson and Reese Linton. Might think about maybe having a bit of a plan here for a double overtake. You can see there, Kai Pearson, the straight line speed is really good. OP Louis Valentine get through on PSR Arch, but at the front, Kai Pearson takes the lead of the race once again from his former PSR teammate F7R Key, and Louis Valentine up into P4. Grimbos again looking for that move. It's so close to being a collision to himself and Arch, but well figured out by Grimbos. Has got a fantastic exit out of the corner though of turn 3 toward turn 4. Grimbos go through up into P5 now, so the Frenchman promotes himself into P5. A great start from GL so far.
Yeah, Arch pretty much there with no DRS zone, no DRS on that car. No wonder he got overtaken so easily there by Grimbos. He's into 5th, Arch there in 6th. Now back within DRS range though. Louis Valentine on the back of Reese runs out wide there, coming through into the S section there slightly. But Kai there leading the way. Keane in second, Reese there in third. The Dutchman doing a good job, I've got to say, in second position. I will get that right eventually. It's one of the nationalities that befuddled my mind sometimes. Louis Valentin, though, on the back, trying to catch the back of the front three. Front three doing a good job right now. Looking further back the field, Havmik on the back of Volokongen, 4/10 of a second behind the Norwegian against his fellow countryman. Volokongen, of course, part of the Shazoo team, has been for quite a while, in fact, actually has the Shazoo man. But back up to the front, I think we're going to see another change in the race lead, because Kian, the Dutchman, right on the back of the Brit of Kai, in towards someone, outside line this time, easy as you like. It's like taking candy from a baby, or it's like taking P2 from P1. Kian through, and he's into the lead of the race.
Yeah, Louis Valentine catching up to this front three a lot quicker as well. Reece Linton, no movement from him so far at the first 6 laps. He sat in P3 for practically the whole time until that overtake from Kian and Kai happens in front of him. So he's going to try and pick his moment to see where he wants to try and get through Kian and not try and have a collision with him, because that could lead to bigger things if that does happen. But it seems to be going so far pretty good for everyone. Markados and Keke, 7 and 8, closing up on each other. We could see some movement in that midfield pack as the DRS starts to become a little bit stronger. Dirk getting back into the DRS of Erpe Higuero. Had a fantastic start, mind you, after getting that Q1 exit up into P11 and getting some good points again so far for F7R. So hopefully he can keep picking up on his F7R debut, pick up the confidence a bit more and get some more overtakes done.
Yeah, definitely. So he was the king of overtaking, of course, and PSGL F2 Championship winner there as well was Urpex, another wonder we got signed for F7R. One of the best talent academies, I've got to say, on PlayStation, on console, and hopefully gives him that platform to eventually go onto PC and challenge for F1 Esports challenges. That is the ultimate aim, I think, for everyone these days. Keke on the back of Markados, though, looking very interesting indeed. In fact, he's actually going to go for the move down and towards turn 1. Keke doesn't care if you are from OP or if you're from another team, as Keke draws alongside. He's eventually going to get passing towards turn 1, believe it or not. Markados will try and stick on in there, but Keke through and he's into 7th. Very, very easily done indeed. NLR taking over from OP. Nicely done there from the man in the AlphaTauri. Now he's got a set of sights on Arch ahead. Further down the field as well. Battles galore. Ogween and Tales are having a good battle. Nick and Typical were side by side down and towards turn 1. Nick taking that position from Typical as well. But as it stands, nothing really much happening toward the front end of the field. Keane there leading the way. Kai Pearson in 2nd. Reece Linton there currently in 3rd. And so far so good. Tie wear around this track, by the way. 1-stop strategy, it seems. Normally a 2-stop, but the tie wear around this track anywhere between 5 and 7% per lap on a set of medium compound tires. Of course, these guys are not on that set of mediums. On the set of hards, they're around 4 to 6%. So, judging by that, the wear rate is going to be hards at least for, I would say, a good 17, 18 laps at least.
Yeah, no, you can see how much the tyres are affecting them so far. The first drop-off should be very far away from now, and lap 8, lap 9 would be the first kind of drop-off point for this hard compound tyre. But Reece Linton and Kai Pearson back into the straight, they go with the DRS advantage. Kai getting alongside, he goes to Kian and gets the lead of the race, once again in the lead he goes of the Dutchman F7R Kian. Reece Linton, as a kid, still stationary, sat in P3, and he has OP Louis Valentine behind him for a bit of company, so Reece is under a bit more pressure than he was a couple of laps ago. Tales and Gabor battling further down the field for P17 and P16. Ogwe now back up into the points after that collision on the start. Seems like a very spread out field currently, with everyone luckily in that DRS. Magician down in 13th, Airpick 11th, Markados still in 8th, Louis Valentine in 4th, though Reece Linton and Kai Pearson still working together, seeing if they can get past Kian.
Yeah, as it stands as well, to be announced, doing a very good job in terms of the team at standings. 1st and 3rd as it stands, F7R are 2nd and 11th, and OP are currently 4th and 8th. So currently, advantage with the TBA team right now. Kai Pearson leading the way, Kian in 2nd, Reece Linton in 3rd. We have been believed to be led, by the way, in terms of announcement toward the end of the week for the TBA team, which is why we're calling them TBA. It is not because we're being funny with you guys in the chat, it's because that's what we've been given in our notes. Kai Pearson leading the way, though, from Keane in 2nd. Reece Linton there in 3rd. And Keane, once again, on the back. I wonder if there's going to be a time where, maybe in the next few laps, Keane obviously is going to get the room for the race lead. I wonder if there's going to be a bit of an operation here from TBA for Reece to try and get on the back of Keane when he gets out of DRS range. Will Reese try and counteract and then form a 1-2 for the Red Bulls? That'll be very interesting to watch out for. Uppbeat doesn't care about what I'm going on about with, because he's making contact and side by side with Havmik. Havmik, though, hangs it around the outside. Fair play there from the Norwegian to get the job done through his into 10th position. Uppbeat, though, still hassling the back of him. To the inside line he goes, down in toward the left-hander at turn number 4. He's going to be late on the brakes. Hopefully we don't see Blakely and Rasmussen through here. Uppbeat in towards the right-hander at turn number 5. Tries to get the switch back now for 6 at Rakia. In towards turn number 6. Never going to be a McLaren-shaped gap up the inside, and Havmik hangs on for 10th.
Yeah, Havmik, good defender there around the outside. Uppbeat luckily wasn't getting too needy for the position and causing a collision. He's suddenly going to sit in 11th again and get that DRS advantage, because Havmik ahead is not in that gap of Volakong, and he's got no ERS to really get himself back into it. He is luckily getting back into that gap of Volakong in P9. But Havmik has got a bit of a journey ahead of him if he can't get into that DRS, because then Uppbeat have a very easy move down the straight in towards turn 1 to claim that P10 from Havmik. As they come across the DRS line now, I believe he might have just got that DRS. If I'm not mistaken, if you see come through the final corner now, it looks like he doesn't actually have a DRS on F7R Uppbeat, so that big battle has cost him dearly. Uppbeat's going to have the DRS when he come up down the inside. He goes and get that move done. Volakongen as well, pulling out to the inside and getting through a Markadors. You might think he'll go back up the inside, but Volakongen holds P8.
Yeah, Markadors really trying to trouble there, the back of Volakongen, maybe trying to incite a bit of weakness in the AlphaTauri's eyes, in the Alfa Romeo's eyes even. The Alfa Romeo man hanging on for 8th position. Markadors there in 9th. Trick of the trade there for Markadors indeed. But Kean there leading the way from Kai in 2nd. Reese there in 3rd. Cindery saying in the chat, how is Kai allowed to race on console still, even though he races on PC? Tycho Hardy did it last week. He's on PC, and he raced, of course, on PlayStation last week as well. That was a horrible camera angle in terms of frame rate, by the way, down towards turn number 7. I don't know what that was we were getting there. But Kean there leading the way, Kai in 2nd, Reese in 3rd, Louis Valentin there in 4th. Ryan saying in the chat, you think Blood lost his license to drive on console? No, probably more preparation, I think, maybe for challenges in a few months' time. Maybe just to try and get a little bit of experience as well, see how the different platforms feel, say if they want to make a comeback potentially. Could be various reasons, to be honest. But yeah, Kean leading the way from Kai in 2nd, Reese there in 3rd. All doing a good job right now. Everyone staying in that DRS train. Louis Valentin, though, on the back of Reese, is trying to look maybe down in towards turn 1 for a cheeky move. Reese pulling out the slipstream there of Kai. We are going to see him move further down the field. Look, as Dirk is on the back of Havmik. The ET8 guys are going to swap forward position to the inside line. Will go Dirk, of course, formerly out of outplayed racing. Outplays his teammate up until 11th position he goes.
Yeah, making moves as the ET8 team is trying to make sure they keep that point score streak up for them. They're trying to see what they can do. It's been so far down currently in the standings. Want to try and gain as many points as possible and hopefully gain some more positions. But OP Marketos had a terrible time in that first sector. He dropped about 3/10 on Volakongen there. He's out of the DRS range of the Shizou driver ahead, so he's got to burn a bit of battery now, get back into that DRS range and have it for the straight. Otherwise, he could be under serious threat from F7R Uppbeat behind, who got past ET8 Dirk in the exact same way just 2 laps ago. So Marketos having a nice little second sector there, though, gains all the time back and is back into the advantage of Shizou Volakongen, who ahead has got a lot more ERS battery to use, 80% on the Alfa Romeo, 35% on the Ferrari of Marketos. So, you know, in terms of battery usage, this is a big moment for Volakongen if he plans on making any sort of maneuver ahead of him.
Yeah, definitely so. Kean, though, leading the way from Kai in 2nd. Louis Valentin, though, on the back of Reese Linton, right underneath the slipstream. Are we going to see TBA and OP taking each other towards turn number 1? Kai Pearson's looking to the inside line on Kean in the foreground, a shot as well. Louis tries to duck around the outside. Is he going to get the job done? And Reese Linton, a brilliant move, and can pull this off. OP against the Red Bull, Ferrari against Red Bull, and he gets around the outside, but look at Grimbles in behind as well. Grimbles are going to try and take 2 for 1, maybe like taking candy from a baby. Here comes the G-League man to the inside line, in towards turn number 4, but Louis Valentin is ahead, defends the position brilliantly off Reese Linton, and Grimbles is nearly in the WOR as he recovers the car. Keki there in 5th. Grimbles rejoins back in 6th. Very lucky from Grimbles, but gets a tap from behind from Arch as he tries to force his way through in towards turn 6 at Rakia, but Grimbles there third into 6th, and now everything beginning to kick off here in Mexico.
Yeah, big moment there with Grimbles had a bit of a snap on the entry into turn number 5, and he just put too much throttle on, so he keeps
reconnecting back up. Kean and Kai, now you should be back with us. Kean takes the race lead off the back of Kai. Louis Valentin in 3rd, Reese Linton fourth. Yeah, that was my internet deciding to die on me there, and OBS decided to kick in. That's what happens when you have an hour and a half's worth of streaming in a little old gaming laptop that isn't really a gaming laptop at all. But yeah, Kian taking the race lead, Kai in second, Louis Valentine in third, and Kian swapping the positions once again off the Red Bull man. But more importantly, of course, Louis Valentine getting that job done last lap around on the back of Reese.
Yeah, no, Cian getting back once again. Louis Valentine again getting that moved on Reese Linton, who's now struggling for some pace, it seems, to get back by Louis Valentine on the straight. He is keeping a bit more battery though than the Frenchman ahead. The young Britishman doing his best to see what he can do and keep ahead of Keke, especially 9/10 back on, and now gaining his Keke. He's used a lot of battery though as Keke behind Reese Linton, but Reese Linton knows what pace he's got. He knows he can get back past Louis Valentine on the straight towards turn one. Obviously that move from Cian was very good, along with Louis Valentine as well around the outside. He was forced wide obviously off the track, but there was nothing that he could actually do about that when he was forced off by him. He did get that position done anyway on the inside into turn number 4. But see, back onto the straightaway jump then. Kai Pearson is closing again on F7R. Cian Reese Linton closing again.
Easy.
Defensive from OP Louis Valentine on the inside. Kai Pearson go for the move again. It's a double move for to be announced, and Reese Linton's up in the P3 and Kai Pearson leads the way.
Yeah, job done for the Red Bulls, first and third position. How do you like them apples? Havmik and Magician are side by side as well through the first corner, now in towards turn 2 and 3, but Magician works his magic past Havmik and he's through, and he's into 12th position. A rocker there on the back as well, maybe looking to try and go on the back of the Norwegian, but again, DRS zone very, very potent around this track, especially down in towards turn number 4. A rocker very late on the brakes though, nearly going into the back there of the Mercedes. Nick as well through on typical further down the field, but yeah, Kai Pearson leading the way. Keenan second, Reese Linton in third, all going according to plan, it seems, for TBA and the Red Bulls right now. Kean there in second, splitting the pair. Louis Valentine, though, we saw his pace in qualifying. His race pace as well, not too bad at all. He seems to be lacking slightly on the Red Bulls, however, in terms of straight line speed. Something that I think the Red Bulls are going to try and work on towards the end of the race. But we are beginning to see now tyres beginning to grain. Certainly looking on board with Louis Valentine, you can see the front right tyre just slightly on the edge of the tyre. You can see a bit of a black blister going through. That's above now 30% in terms of the tyre wear at least. It'll be around a 40%, I think, in terms of the tyre wear. We should then begin to see, Ross, pit stops begin to be made very soon as Kean once again is coming on the back of Kai Pearson. And you know what I'm going to say, Kean's through into the race lead, down the inside end towards turn 1, defends off the back of the Red Bull, and Kean is back through the Dutchman into the race lead.
Yeah, as you said, the blister really starting to show up on some of these tyres. A hard time, especially having a really tough time for now. Kai Pearson overtaken again by F7R. It's just a game of cat and mouse, isn't it, at the front? A constant swap of positions to lead the way. Whoever's got the DRS having to make that move. But when we see some sort of undercut attempt from the likes of Kai Pearson, Reese Linton, Louis Valentine, one of them has got to try something a little bit different if they want to try and make up that extra position on the car ahead, especially Louis Valentine, who really wants to try and outscore F7R today to try and keep that gap they've got, keep building on it and building on it. With Marcos ahead of Airpick, but Cian 2-3 places up on OP Louis Valentine. You know, that is a tough one to come back from, and especially with the points haul they're going to have with F7R getting 2 wins in a row. Yeah, and speaking of coming back, Volokongan is going to have to come back within DRS range on the back of Arch as well. Shazoo not playing it. It looks like Volokongan's struggling, quite frankly, in terms of pace. Marcos right on the back of him, hounding the back of him in towards the Forasol, and really putting the Norwegian under pressure. And he's going to be out of DRS range by about 300ths of a second. Has he actually just nicked it coming through the final corner? We'll see shortly. Volokongan has just nicked it. He is lucky. Kai Pearson, though, and Reese Linton going for the 2-for-1 now, down in towards turn 1. This is what I said a little bit earlier on. They might do. Now they have done it. It's Red Bull 1-2. Kai leads the way from Reese in second, Kean third, and Kean probably just thinking, yep, come on, I want you, come on, you can take on the race lead if you want. Kean's just going to sit there, 87% of EOS, and he's got their numbers any day of the week. And this, tactically, fascinating on 2 fronts. 1 for the tyres, 2 now for F7R, and for Kean's ERS advantage compared to Reese and Kai. It is all looking like Red Bull right now. Kean, though, I think he's done a master call in terms of just sitting back, relaxing, maybe keeping up with the pace, and then he's going to hunt them down in the last few laps. Yeah, it could be one of those situations. Key in 2 cars having to be overtaken to take that race lead back instead of 1 now. It's even tougher. Reese Linton will probably try and get by Kai Pearson on this lap unless one of them is planning on a pit stop. Now James possibly made, that's when they made the double move so that one of them can at least lead the race. If it does come to that, Kai Pearson could be into the pits first with the advantage he's got on his teammate currently. It really could be anyone's game so far. Seems to be closing everywhere else, so no pit stops from the front three or the front four. Everyone else still staying out for now. So yeah, no one really planning on making any sort of undercut attempt. Everyone's staying out on lap 17. F7 Archean not closing up to the two ahead. They're going to just DRS off each other and just keep this lead going for the front two places. We're used to seeing from to be announced. Kai Pearson first, Reese Linton in second.
Yeah, Grimbles, by the way, absolutely gets the job done. And towards turn one, I don't know what's going on in the back there. Marketos, though, is just centred around the outside of Urpek. Brilliant stuff from them. Volakongan and Urpek are getting very tasty as they come through turns 2 and 3. Dirk now on the back of these guys as well. Urpek's going to filter in. Dirk looking to the inside line now on the back of the McLaren. And I think right thing to do maybe to back off, but they're still side by side. Coming to the left-hand of 4, through the right-hand of turn number 5. Dirk around the outside. Traction is going to be there. Brilliant stuff by the Mercedes. He's through and he's into 10th. Urpek tyres are dropping off like an absolute stone right now. He's there down in 11th position. Not sure what led up to that. There was certainly 3 wide in towards turn 1. That's what I caught on board with. But Dirk through and he's into 10th. Urpek's lost 2 positions, I think, there as well. So that might be now the call for F7R, at least for one of their drivers, to come into the pit lane.
Yeah, possibly could be a pit stop for like Urpek and being just on the back of everyone else, but the gang is really ganged up from the front 5 here. Grimbles will come into this front battle as well. Can we see a pit stop coming now?
Yes.
Looks like yes, Louis Valentine and F7 Archean pull the trigger first.
Oh, Louis Valentine!
Valentine spins round into the pit box. That is unheard of. Luckily gets reset back onto the line, but could that be crucial in losing a bit of time on the pit box there, James? I'm not sure, but Louis Valentine now into the pit box, changing to the medium compound tyre until the end of the race.
WTF is all I've got to react to that. I don't know what we have just witnessed. Louis Valentine has relocked basically into the pit lane and he's nearly gone off in towards the poor pit wall. I think the hospitality area might have been getting a bit too close for comfort there. In 14th position he comes back out in. He's behind Arch as a result, but actually looks for the inside line on the back of Arch in towards turn number 1. Might look for the move around the outside. Be phenomenal if he can pull this off, and he might just do. Louis Valentine and Arch side by side. Nick getting in the mix as well, and it's 3 wide as we come now through in towards turn number 4. Hold on to your hats. Louis Valentine, though, is going to come out on top. Arch just doesn't have the pace, doesn't have the momentum to fight that, and Marketos is through. Sorry, Louis Valentine even is through, and he's into 13th position. But my God, I've done 10 years of commentary. That's the first time I've ever seen somebody nearly spin into the pit lane.
Yeah, no, that is for me as well. It just happened so quickly, just real-locked into the pit lane, misjudged the breaking point. But I tell you what though, James, look at the gap that has emerged from Kian and Louis Valentine. It's about at least two or 3 seconds between the two of them, maybe even 4 seconds between them. It just gets bigger and bigger. Yeah, you see Marketos now leading pushing behind Kai Pearson. Reese Linton into the pit box. I'm going to be interested to see where does Reese Linton come out in all of this. Grimbo's also into the pit box with Keke and Volakongan. Urpek and Havmik followed him in. Where does Kian come out? Then Kian's going to come out. It looks like ahead of Reese Linton, and he is well ahead of Reese Linton. He's going to gain a second and a bit gap. So Kian has pulled the trigger at the exact right time. He's now ahead of Reese Linton by 1.4 seconds.
He is indeed, and look at where Louis Valentine is compared to that. That spin probably set him back about 3 seconds, I think, in terms of the reset. I think it might have been himself, that reset, but look at him on the back of Keke. He's going to look for the move now on the back of the NLR man. The NLR man, if he's got any sense, will not fight this, and the OP man should be ahead of him in towards the corner, in towards turn number 4, and Louis Valentine is through, and he's into 9th position. But that has really put him on the back foot, has the OP man. Now got Grimbos in front of him, and then he's got a 2-second chasm of a gap, potentially, to Reese Linton, and then Reese, of course, closing up to Kian. So, Louis, with that spin, he's on the fresher tyres now. Those fresher tyres, though, the drivers that have just came in, the likes of Reese and Grimbos, are now, obviously, getting up to temperature. They're going to be at the same level, probably around 3% less than the mediums are actually on, as Kai Pearson now into the pit lane. Marketos is into the pit lane as well. Dirk's going to continue on, maybe to try and float up the apple cart and maybe go for a set of soft compounded tyres. That is what I'm thinking. Marketos as well into the pit lane. I thought I saw a front wing change potentially going to be happening there, but that's just my eyesight going wrong. Kai Pearson, though, coming out towards the pit lane. There is Kian already through. There's Reese Linton already through. Undercut is so powerful around this track, and Kai Pearson is going to be barely ahead of Grimbos in towards turn number 1. And he's under pressure actually from Louis. As though Louis to the inside line will get the job done.
Yeah, Louis gets that job done on the inside line. I see him flying around the background. He's absolutely got a fantastic exit out of the final corner. He's given himself a good exit and got that move done on his fellow French compatriot. And now look at Kai Pearson then under pressure from Louis Valentine. Kai Pearson is up 2 seconds on his teammate from staying out just that extra lap. You can see how much the undercut has worked for F7 Arcade. 1.8 seconds ahead of Rhys Linton, and he's about 4 seconds clear of Kai Pearson. That is unbelievable, to be honest with you, how powerful the undercut has been compared to the other two. Ogwyn, Gabor and Dirk also yet to pit, but Key's going to pick his way through now. And anyway, it's Ogwyn for MVR, so picking up that qualifying ban. Hasn't really been up to much in this race, and Gabor ahead as well. That first lap spin has cost him a good chance at points for Bungie Racing Team after their good points haul in Belgium last time out. But Kean, though, what a pit stop that was. He's really on for the race win now.
He is indeed. Louis Valentine. Luke Humphrey saying in the chat he's fine now. He is indeed fine. There's a yellow flag. That's Havmik retired. And is that a safety car to VSC? VSC for now could be deployed for full safety car. Havmik has crashed that coming in towards turn number 12. And he's gone straight on. I wonder if that's a bit of a wheel failure or a pedal failure or something that he's had. Straight on in towards turn number 12. I don't think... I'm going to rewind that back on my end. I don't think he was actually anywhere near anyone at the time. He was 0.4 of a second behind Tallers, so maybe a bit of contact with Tallers is what I'm thinking. That is in towards turn number 12. I'm just rewinding this back, and then he is, yeah, side by side with Tallers, and I have a feeling they've made contact in towards that part of the track and have made, yeah, he's gone straight on, and I don't know how on earth people have actually got away with that. Anyways, enough of my waffling. We're back underway. Gabor leads. Not for long, though, because Keane's on the back of him in towards the S section, as Rhys is going to get through on Ogwyn.
Yeah, Rhys Linton making his way through quickly because Gabor's been a major hold-up for F7 Arcane during his middle sector, kind of dirty all the way through. Look at Rhys Linton has closed up that gap immensely on F7 Arcane. He's gained about a second there just on this lap alone. You can see how much Rhys Linton is catching back up. You see Gabor pulls to the outside, keeping out Rhys Linton's way. And I tell you what, we have got a battle for the lead now, James. Rhys Linton versus F7R Key, and Gabor all over the place. Himself and NRS Ogwyn yet to make the pit stop. Ogwyn, I think he actually forced himself to stay out there on the hard tyres. Hope Louis Valentine getting through on Ogwyn as well. These hard compound tyres on Gabor and Ogwyn are just falling off every single lap. And well, Kai Pearson, Rhys Linton and F7 Arcane are back in the hot seat for this race win again. Louis Valentine looks to the inside possibly on BRT Gabor as he goes a little bit hot on the brakes. Does Gabor, he goes to the corner, and Louis Valentine holds himself into 4th place. Grimbos, that was a fantastic move up the inside early on in the turn 3, and Grimbos gives himself a good chance at the race win as well, because James, this is a 5-car shootout for the race win.
It is indeed. Keki now through on Gabor. Ogwyn now looking on the back of Arch. Arch now looking through on the back of Gabor. That is the hard ones dealt with, and that is the front 7 now. All within the big old DRS frame. So I would say, actually, the front 7 are on potentially to win this race win. Gabor and Ogwyn's going to hold up the back of Volokong and Magician, and then you've got a bit of a gap to Marcados. So everything, I think, is going to fall through, maybe into the front 7. One of these front 7, I think, at this point, is going to win. Possibly a little bit too low, but Rhys Linton doing a good job on the back of Kean, 0.2 of a second, keeping that pressure on. 48% of ERS. ERS, if you're new to Formula 1 and you're new to sim racing, is the energy recovery system. Basically, think of it like brake in a car. Once you brake, you end up recovering that ERS. Once you come down a straight like we are now, and once you use up that energy recovery system, you're going to be flying on the back of your teammate down in towards turn number 1, and that's what Rhys and Kai are going to now operate in full effect to the inside line in towards turn number 1, and TBA are now 1-2 once again. Rhys leads from Kai. Kian, though, will have something to say about that. You can now save up the ZRS, which means good news for the F7R team, especially later on in the race.
Yeah, I know, Kian able to gain back a bit of that ERS will really be helpful during the back end of the race. But Rhys Linton ahead, though, is on 50%. Kai on 25. Kian in the 37. So even if he does get by Kai, he's got to get past Rhys as well with a bit more battery. So yeah, it's still a really tough task for Kian. It would have really helped him if Airpick was a little bit higher up the field, but only the circumstances he's got now is what he can deal with. But Grimbo's behind, also in the 10%. Louis Valentine also in the 17%, but NLR Keke 40%, so a possible P4 here for NLR Keke. It's a fantastic result for NLR team, and hopefully he can pull that off and make it interesting. Shizu as well, banged up next to each other at 2.5 seconds back as Volokong and on his teammate PSR Arch, who is also having a good race for Team Shizu. But Grimbos, crucially, it dropped out of DRS, James.
He has dropped out of DRS range indeed, 1.1 seconds, and he's not within that DRS range. He's going to be under pressure on Louis Valentin down the straight as well. The Frenchman going to be absolutely on him down and towards turn 1. Realises that he's out of DRS range. To be fair though, Louis Valentin's nearly out of ERS, so he's not really catching himself in towards turn number 1. Might look for a late lunge, but he actually respects the track limits, respects the driver ahead, and doesn't go for the move, otherwise there would have been consistent contact, I think, there, with me potentially going for a very aggressive move. Speaking of aggressive moves, Marquez around the outside of Gabor. Gabor's tyres are absolutely falling off the cliff. He should just come in the pit lane, maybe give up and retire, I think. Urpek there in 12th, Gabor in 13th. He's holding out, I think, on a safety car more than anything. Soft compounder tyres will be his play if it does. He'll be there in 13th. But everyone else, though, Ross, is going to be coming in if there is a safety car, so I don't really get what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more just a case of just riding out those tyres until they die, where he knows not got anything to fight for anymore. That lap one spin and not being able to come back from it. His chance of a safety car, I think, has blown after that half-mic one. Was a virtual safety car going straight on there at the last part of the track. So yeah, I think it is just over for Gabor today. An unfortunate one for Bunga Racing Team. A usual point scorer, nothing for them today with Bjorn Gauer, but Magician, though, still in around that fight for P8. Yellow flag in the middle sector. Is that NVR Nick? It is NVR Nick with a spin. That might be Gabor's hope of a safety car. I doubt it, though, because he has carried on and he is going straight. But Reese Linton, going to overtaken by his teammate now up the inside. It's Kane as well. Never mind, Kane up there as well. But Kai Pearson having to go defensive against his former PSR teammate. James, this is heating up now.
This is heating up indeed. Yeah, Kai and Reese, of course, in Japan, made sure of a bit of team tactics there, and I think they're going to do the same with F7R Key and pretty much put him in the guinea pig position. Use him as that guinea pig and maybe put a little bit of a rat ahead of him on a fishing rod. But Key in there in third, doing a good job. The more that, though, the Red Bulls hold them up, the more chance Louis Valentin, Grimballs and Keki have all got in terms of bridging the gap. And that is what they're going to do. They're going to bridge the gap. That was perfect in terms of team tactics from Red Bull. But in the end, it's put Keane on the back foot, and Louis Valentin has not really got the pace to live up, so we're back at a stalemate. We're back at square one from what they were trying to do there. Louis Valentin, though, in fourth. I can understand what they were doing, but they've got to try and do it again, I think, towards turn number 1, to try and really enact this. But speaking of which, Louis Valentin, briefly within a second, now outside of a second, in towards Peraltada. Is he on the limit in terms of the DRS? There's the detection point, and he's outside of DRS range. Means Grimballs, though, is going to be on the metal down in towards turn number 1. The Alpine on the back of the Ferrari. The two Frenchmen go side by side, and Grimballs is easily passed on the back of Louis Valentin. The Monaco winner even falls down through into 5th position, and Grimballs now through, and he's into 4th.
Yeah, Grimballs making his way through the field nicely. He's trying to hold that 4th place for Gili, just hoping that something ahead can happen. If he can end up back in that DRS slot, it can all be a bit easier for him. But these three at the front are just going to keep pulling away and away and trying to break that gap and just making it sure that it is about those three for this race win. But Grimballs, though, keeping it competitive and closing up that gap with every corner. So he's back to 9.5 tenths, now back to a second. It changes with every single corner. He does have 1 lap fresher tyres than F7R Key, and he has got 1 lap less fresher tyres than Kai Pearson. So yeah, it's a really tough situation for Grimballs. As long as he keeps in that DRS range, it could be alright for him, and he could keep ahead of OP Louis Valentine.
Yeah, definitely. So, obviously now within DRS range, they're going to try and close up once again, but the front three just seem to be on another level, I think, compared to the guys behind. Louis Valentin now, he's taken quite a lot out of his tyres. His tyres towards the end of the race are going to be shot. They're going to be towards puncture territory towards the end of the race. Kylo on the back of Reese. Are we going to see the age-old battle from Console T1? You bet we are. No team tactics here. Down in towards turn number 1. Kai takes the lead off the back of Reese. And there goes my man for P1 out on track into P1. Key in there in third, Grimballs in fourth, Keki on the back of Louis Valentin, Dirk on the back of Magician, further down the field. And this race, honestly, living up to expectations. Marquez to the inside line on the back of Magician, 3-lap older tyres for Magician. He'll try and defend off the back of Marquez if he can. Through the right-hand return 2 and 3, and Marquez are going to do him for absolute chips. Coming down, now down in towards turn number 4. And this should be now Marquez's move. Magician not going to work his magic for that one. Marquez through, and he's into 10th. Went a bit deep, but gets the position.
Yeah, nothing that Magician really could have done there. Marketov with a far more superior battery than Magician. Magician down in the 8%, Marketov in the 30s, so, you know, he was always going to be able to get that move done nice and easily and carry on with his race. Promoting himself up a bit more positions, giving OP a little bit more points, but I believe are still being outscored currently by S7R, and especially if Kane can get that move done on Reese Linton for P2. But Grimbos has entered back into that fight now. He's gained off that advantage. 6 tenths he's gained on this lap. He's back into around the 5/10 gap between himself and Kane, and Louis Valentine doesn't seem to be catching up much more either. So Grimbos might give himself a very good opportunity here of scoring another podium for G League. 2 in a row for them. It'd be the first in our WOR Legacy Division history, and that would be fantastic for them.
Yeah, Keke on the back of Louis Valentine in towards turn number 1. Here comes the NLR man up into 5th. Louis Valentine's going to hang that around the outside. I tell you what, brilliant stuff by Louis Valentine. Keke's been sold a new kidney there. Keke now on the back of on the back of Louis Valentine. Is he going to come back at him? You bet he will. He's got the ERS. He's got the DRS standing towards turn number 4. Is Keke now going to make eat my words? No. Louis Valentine hangs on to position, hangs on to 5th. Brilliant defensive work by the OP man. And that is how you race, ladies and gentlemen. That is how you race here in Mexico. Brilliant, brilliant stuff by Louis Valentine. Even better by Keke. But in the end, only one can come out on top, and that's the Frenchman.
Yeah, I know exactly to see that was a good move. Yeah, that was a good move from Louis Valentine. And Hunter on the outside, it was so confident all the way through. And yeah, as you said, Keke thought about the switchback, but Louis Valentine had covered that off nicely and has kept himself a P5 position. But James, he did crucially lose a bit of time to the cars in front, having to defend a little bit longer. So really, he's put himself in a worse position than he did. But as long as he keeps in that DRS range of Grimbos ahead, he should be okay for now.
Yeah, he should be okay for now, indeed. To lap 29 out of 36. This race is really flying on by. We've only had one VSC out on track. Are we going to see position change for the race lead, though? Reese on the back of Kai in towards turn number 1. Yes, we will. Reese now through and into the race lead. Kai there in 2nd, Kian in 3rd. If I was the man in 2nd, though, I'd be a little bit worried because Kian's got 10% more of ERS at this stage of the race compared to Kai in front. Reese has got 10% more compared to Kian in front of him. So Kian is 2nd best in terms of the ERS game. Apparently Rashford scored, by the way, as well. Bell Ruffix saying in the chat, feed the world. Maybe feed the world Rashford scored or something like that. Maybe the new Christmas number 1 coming a little bit later on. But Reese there leading from Kai in 2nd. Kian there in 3rd. Through the left-hander now of turn 7, 8. Then through the left-hander of turn number 9. Through the SA section. But this race, living up to expectation. First ever time we came here, of course, in Legacy Division. Not the first time we've been here, of course, in WOR. Console Tier 1 came here, I think, in Season 13, if I'm not mistaken. But really living up to expectations. And these final 7 laps are crucial for 2 things. 1, the overtaking. 2, potential punctures.
Yeah, no, you can't write it off just yet. I think he took the hards around 17, 18 laps, so the mediums really can't really go much more than that. 6 more laps to go, though, in this Grand Prix. OP Louis Valentine is slowly closing up to NLR GL Grimbos ahead. Sorry, not NLR Grimbos, GL Grimbos, F7R Key, and not able to do anything. But it looks like Kai Pearson may have put a teammate.
Oh, no, they hit each other!
Has been hit in the back by Kai Pearson, and Kai Pearson goes straight on. Keane will inherit the race lead here, I'm sure of it. That is a massive moment. He must have been a misunderstanding between the 2 teammates, and Kai Pearson has now got wing damage, and he's got a 5-second penalty for travels.
Oh my word, if you thought the drama couldn't get through, they've done it again. Reese on the back of Kai, brakes too late in towards turn number 1. It was a complete misunderstanding, but the simplest of misunderstandings can now bring a whole kettle of fish with you. And unfortunately, they've done it again. They did it in Console Tier 1 not too long back. Kai Pearson's having to defend absolutely valiantly through the SA section with that front wing damage. He's came off worse, even though he wasn't the one that made the contact. Grimbo's now on the back of Kian, and Kian now is going to try and go for the race lead, but Grimbo's are going to try and go all the way around the outside. There's a terrible camera angle. They hit each other, though. Grimbo's nearly off in the wall, recovers the car. I think he's got away scot-free with damage. This getting a little bit too aggressive. Kai Pearson, though, literally like a boat moving through the forest soul. Louis Valentine now looking to the inside line. This race has just suddenly spawned into life. Kian now leads. Louis Valentine in 2nd, Kai Pearson in 3rd, and Kai Pearson, what on earth is he doing? He's still staying out on that outside line, and he's coming for the race lead. He's got that damage, doesn't care, to the inside line, in towards turn number 1. Kai Pearson leads once again in Mexico. This race kicking off big time.
Yeah, well, Kai's going to be a big roadblock for those ahead. Kian especially. Louis Valentine may try to pick his chance on Kian and to inherit the race lead, I would presume, once Kai Pearson does end up getting out of the way
Oh
for
my
the driver.
God.
Look at Louis Valentine, wants to go around the outside of the turn number 4 if he can get it done. He looks to go in into the Kai as well. Such a ballsy move from the Frenchman, but what a move it is. OP Louis Valentine looks to get it done. Kai Pearson hold it around the outside. There's nothing he can do, but Kian's back up the inside as well. Louis going out wide, Kai's going to hold it from Keke, and now Kian takes the lead of the race. Oh my word, this is just ramping up with every single corner.
What the hell is going on? Kian now leads. Kai Pearson, though, is in the wall. He's going slow through the middle sector. That is him done. I think he's got more damage, on the right side end plate damage. That is him now done. Kian now leads. Louis Valentine in second. Keke in third. Oh my word. Take a breather. Take a chill pill, everyone, in the comments section. Kian there leads. Louis Valentine in second. Keke there in third. Dirk, remembers, got a penalty. Reese Linton's on the back of him in toward Peraltada. This race, though, I said the front 7 potentially could win it. I didn't expect contact between the Red Bulls, first and foremost, but now it seems like the battle between F7R and OP. And speaking of OP, here comes Louis Valentine down the straight, in towards turn 1. Surely going to get the job done, and he does, on the back of Kian. Back into the race leading goals, lap 32 out of 36, 5 laps to go. Louis Valentine leads, Kian in second, Keke in third. My God, am I excited for this battle between OP and F7R.
The NLR fans go crazy in the YouTube chat. Keke on the podium indeed, my friends. Keke is on his way to a podium for NLR. Arch, though, might be trying to spoil that NLR party if he can get past quick enough. But Kian and Louis, this is the battle you want to see for the lead. No more team games between Kai Pearson and Reese Linton. It's all on 4 different teams for the race when Louis, Kian, Keke and Arch, Shazoo, NLR, F7R, OP. Welcome to the WR Leagues Division, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you like to see it. Louis Valentine still in the lead currently. Kian will do everything he can to catch on the street and see if he can get ahead before the final lap. Keke as well.
Oh my word.
Still on about that race winning opportunity. See a big move there between Marcados and Airpick seems to be battling as well. Kai Pearson really getting away of Marcados and possibly Airpick. Kai trying to, I think he's trying to keep out of the way, but Marcados has been forced wide almost, and he's hit the back of Kai Pearson. Airpick also getting collected there. Magician's been invited back into this fight. It's just crazy all over the place, James.
It is crazy all over the place, but what this is doing is bringing OP and F7R potentially back into the championship fight. The further that Kai Pearson drops, good news for F there with the worst possible moment as well. Marcados around the outside of Kai Pearson. Goes to the inside line, surely going to get the job done. The Ferrari and the Red Bull leading each other in towards Rakia at turn number 6. And Marcados just about getting that move done. Kai Pearson now opening up a whole can of worms with F7R. And oh my word, Urpek's just gone around the outside. There's going to be contact. Magician nearly in the wall. Oh my God, I don't know what's happening anymore. This is racing in Mexico, apparently. It's probably not. Magician now on the back of Urpek. Kai Pearson being like Roadrunner and not going meet.
Yeah, Pearson, Arch and 88. Dirk getting really close to contact. It looks like Dirk may have some wing damage. He does. Dirk has got wing damage. It's into the pit. There's no wing, sorry. No wing on that Mercedes car. It's into the pit lane. That's all over for 88. Dirk, and yeah, he does call it a day there. Big loss for 88. Picking up some good points there for trying to get back into himself, inviting himself into that midfield battle. Lap 34 or 36 though. OP Louis Valentine still leads the way on F7R and Keke still in third. Arch and Volacong, and what a result that is for Team Shazoo if they can pull this one off. Volacong's got to stick in that DRS of his teammate ahead. Otherwise it could be a long way by for him with Reese Linton and Grimbos in behind. F7 Airpick and Kai Pearson. Kai Pearson is still trying to keep some points for to be announced, but it looks like Airpick might have to struggle a little bit more because Kai has got that straight line speed advantage. Airpick has got so much better grip though with having a front wing on his car. Here he comes around the inside now. It looks like an outside now, an inside, and Kai Pearson drops back to P11.
He does. I think he was off there coming through the right-hand return number 4, if I'm not mistaken. But only 2 laps to go after this. Hopefully the laptop holds. Hopefully everything holds. Buckle up because this is going to be one exciting finish. Louis Valentine leads. Kian in second. Keke there in third. In terms of ERS, Keke 43%. Kian 41%. And a rear diffuser for Good living there from Keki. Louis Valentine, though, 25% and escaping up the road. This might be Louis Valentine's break for OP. Going now through the right-hand repel Tada. In towards turn number 1 once again we will go. On the penultimate lap of the race, Louis Valentine leads. Keane in second, but Keki closing. All the way on the way down and towards turn 1. On the back of the F7R man. Is going to look to the inside line. Not quite close enough this time around. We're going to go on the final lap, it seems, between these guys. Louis leads. Keane in second, Keki in third. My oh my, we are in for some treat. Hopefully the driving standards improve to give us a very good final lap of the race.
Yeah, it really would be an interesting one to see Kane just close up that gap. You can see he was struggling to get by Louis Valentine there on the straight, but he knows himself he needs that DRS. If he doesn't get the DRS, it's going to be such a struggle to get by on the straight, and Louis Valentine knows he's in such a vulnerable position right now with no DRS to the Frenchman's car. But if outplayed, can take another race win. Their championship hopes are so much revived here with F7R and a possible P2 though keeps F7R in about that championship fight as well. With OP Marketers outscoring F7R Airpack, that would also mean OP outscoring F7R today and gain a bit in the championship lead. But OP Louis Valentine though will lead the way heading on to the final lap of the race.
Yeah, definitely so. Dirk, by the way, very much not happy, by the way. It looks like it was contact between him and Arch, potentially. One of the Alfa Romeos, at least. But Kian on the back of Louis Valentine. Luke saying he backed him up. Good effect. Yes, he has. Because Kian now on the back of Louis Valentine's going to come storming at him. Down in towards turn 1. Louis going to be vulnerable to Keki as well, potentially. But Kian now leads. Louis Valentine in second. And Keki is absolutely coming at him in towards turn 1. He's ahead before the corner comes. Louis Valentine, though, dives it to the inside line. OP and NLR, they lean each other. Little bit of contact between them both. They get away with it scot-free and hands Keane the race win on a silver platter. Keki, though's going to come back at him in towards turn number 4. Louis Valentine's got no ERS, no DRS to defend. Keki looks to the inside line in towards turn number 4. Can't get the job done. And Louis Valentine barely holds on for second. But Keane there leading the way. He's away scot-free in front. And now it comes to the right-hand return number 6 once again. Louis Valentine in seconds. Got to keep Keki and Arch at bay. Arch, remember, with that penalty. Penalties wise, by the way. Arch has got 3 seconds. Magician on 3. Kai Pearson on 5. Tales on 3 and Nick on 3 as well, just to round that off a little bit later on. But Kian in towards the final couple of corners. It has been a masterful stroke of genius driving, I've got to say, from the F7R man. And if you need a man that can bring you in terms of the championship, it's this man here, coming through in toward Peraltada for the final time. F7R are going to take it 2 wins in a row. This time it's with Kian. Kian through the final corner to win in Mexico. Louis Valentine in second. Keki there in third. Tried as he must. Volakongan in the end gets fourth. Grimbos and Reese Linton go position with Archer's 3-second penalty. But my oh my, drama, controversy, it had the lot. Kian takes the win. Louis in second. Keki there in third. And F7R once again out on top. And they're well and truly in the championship fight.
Yes, they are well and truly indeed invited back into that championship fight, but you cannot mistake OP's fantastic point scoring positions tonight. BRT Gabor did end up picking up a point in the end for Bunga Race Team after getting taken out on lap 1. Very unfortunate, but a good race from him as well. But Kian, OP Louis Valentine, and NLR Keki, the NLR fans in the chat saying Keki P2, they're not happy with what Louis Valentine did into turn number 1 and 2. So possible stewards report could be coming, but in the end, F7R Kian kept his nose clean. I tell you what, it's a well-deserved win for F7R. 2 in a row for them as they look towards Bahrain next week.
Definitely so. Luca to the line in 17th was a crash as well, I believe, from the man. And 18th position, that was Nick who crashed out on track. Wasn't really going to get the points anyway, so he is down in 18th position. We may still get classified though in the results. Driver of the day apparently is Volakongan. That's a bit of a weird one, I think, from the game. But we'll see the podium. The podium sitters very soon indeed come to the top step of the podium, and this time, of course, it is Kian the Dutchman out on top. F7R once again cooking. Of course, that PSR Talon Factory merge really now suiting them well. Remember, they had no points off the back of Monaco, and now I think they're going to be within 20 points of the race lead going into next week, of course, which we will inform you about in terms of the changes next week as well. Keki saying in the chat to Louis saying sorry, and Keki saying you'll never go side by side with me. So, yeah, I think there's a bit of love lost between the both of them there in the Discord. No love lost between Kian. Splash of the champagne over the railings at the top step of the podium, and F7R come out on top once again. We'll run you through the full grid order now. It is Kian out on top. Pretty much a lights the flag victory, even though it definitely wasn't that way. Louis Valentine in second, Keki there in third, Volakongan in 4th, 14th on the grid up to 4th. Great result there for Zhu. With GL Grimballs there in 5th, Reese Linton in 6th, PS Arch there in 7th, Markadors in 8th, Urpek there in 9th, the Magician ran off the top 10. Then it's a Rocker, Oggreen, Tales, Kai Pearson there down at 14th position with that damage in the end. What could have it been for the TBA team? The ball in 15th picking up the final point scoring finish. Then typical Luca, Nick, all getting round. Dirk retiring in the pit lane and Havik, of course, crashing out and causing that VSC after a wheel disconnection. But Kian out on top, Louis Valentine in second, Kian in third. Keki in third even. But Kian out on top, F7R rolling into next week.
Yeah, no, that was really something to be made of for Kian. It's a fantastic race from F7R. Again, they were really entering themselves into a fantastic championship fight heading into the newly replaced Spain of Bahrain. That's another interesting track. But with the MVR missing their star man Liam Bowman, with probably his strongest track, it's really going to be a big miss for the team.
It is going to be a big miss for the team indeed. Bahrain as well. Bitter tyre wear situation around that. Potentially going to be like Qatar in terms of a two-stop strategy. You will tune in next week. Of course, it was due to be Spain. Because apparently there's a pothole now through the final corner, that's not going to happen. So it's Bahrain next week. And then on Halloween, it's Canada, which I'm very excited for because that is definitely going to be a two-stop race in terms of the tyre wear around there. And then, of course, we've got the second break week and the transfer window. And then it's the Netherlands, Japan, Abu Dhabi, Brazil, and Las Vegas to end off the season. Las Vegas, of course, the track limits fixed around there thanks to the recent patch update. But yeah, Bahrain next week as a track. What can we expect for in terms of the racing? Can we expect more of the same like we saw in Mexico or in Jeddah, perhaps?
Well, you can expect a lot of DRS trains, that is for sure. It's one of those tracks where you've got to be in the DRS, otherwise it's kind of game over for you if you're not in it nice and early. Hopefully we can see a bit less of the turn one collisions as well, enter some more drivers into that fight, because that would have been really interesting to end with. But yeah, another great track to finish off with. I mess up with the game in Spain. It's probably not ruined another good race, but Bahrain is definitely not one to not be looking forward to.
Definitely not. Yeah, definitely not. Bahrain, though, is next week, and we'll be fresh from PSGL E-Series as well, which is going to be coming up on Monday night. If you do want to tune in for that, it will be, I think, maybe on both channels. If not, it will be certainly on one. Might be on the PSGL channel. And you may or may not see me there if I do get offered the chance to commentate. But I'm looking forward, no matter as a viewer, no matter regardless as what will happen next week. WOR against PSGL, always a fan favourite. And that, of course, is going to happen next week at, I believe, 8 PM UK time, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So that's going to be really interesting. Hopefully, though, we're all going to see the standings have been done provisionally, apparently. And I can reveal to you, because I can't show it on the stream, so I'm going to put up the ending graphic there. Standings as it stands provisionally, without the results being taken into account, without steward reports being taken into account as well. My iPad being absolutely ancient for loading up the standings. I could have just done this on my Discord, but getting it up right now. And when it decides to load, Outplayed Racing lead the way on 269 points. As it stands, over F7R, who are on 240 points. OP outscoring F7R with that good result, of course. Novus Racing remain in third on 173, and then BRT in fourth on 158 points. We'll run you through the full graphics towards the end, towards the beginning of next week's live stream as well in Bahrain. But for now, we're going to end off with some music and, of course, with our adverts from Next Level Racing and GridFinder. Thank you so much for watching from myself and Ross. We got there in the end with all the technical difficulties and everything, but we're going to end off here and we're going to watch some good old football. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.